And we are live.
We are live. No intro.
Not today, because
Yeah, we got caught up in something.
yeah, and we got K Munin.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, K Munin?
Yes.
And K Munin saw the lamp. That is a really
That
nice
lamp is
lamp.
fantastic. Yeah, I did a short of it, and I'm like, God, that just reeks early 70s. It was amazing.
Oh my God, he
But
got a rare night off.
hey, Johnny's here.
Hey, Johnny.
But it's the last short I just put up. If
Mhm.
anybody's curious about what I'm talking about, it was fantastic,
Yeah.
and it had like a molded blunderbuss on it, and a powder horn and all kinds of stuff, a lantern attached to it, and I'm like, wow, that is like so 1971. But they wanted hey, Pastor Rick is here.
Yeah.
They wanted $195 for it. I'm like, oh, no way. And they weren't really willing to negotiate. It's one of those professional
Estate sales.
Yeah.
And the thing that's so funny, we went to that exact same one about maybe almost a month ago.
Yes.
And then we saw the sign today and they said, let's go. I'm like, I think that's the same place.
Yeah.
And it was. And that lamp was still there. And it was for the same price.
Yeah.
We
Everything was
did
still the
have some
same
pickups.
price.
I don't know if David brought them down, but we
Yeah.
did have some pickups
Not
today.
from the estate sale.
No, not from
Not
there.
from the estate sale.
Hey,
Legends
Legends,
is
how are
here.
you?
We came across a church yard sale, and they never advertise.
No.
And what they do is they fill the parking lot up, and basically the way it works is they say to their parishioners, hey, bring whatever and throw it out on the tables, and we won't even price it. You just pay us whatever you want.
Yeah, you just give
Is
them a
the attitude.
donation.
Just whatever. They don't
Yeah.
even care.
But they got some things like they have bigger furniture, like bedroom furniture. That
Yeah.
stuff is priced, but you got to ask them the price. And then they got like the awning and whatever's under that, which isn't a lot,
Is
different. Is priced. But if it's in the parking lot on tables, you just grab what
it.
you want. You take it up to the girl in the front and
Say, how
you,
about this? And
yeah,
she's like, sure, whatever.
like, yeah, here, $5.
And she my wife got like a big hefty sack full of fabric, and of course
Yeah.
she does quilting and stuff, so that was fantastic.
And fabric is so expensive
It is.
nowadays. It really takes away from the joy of I'm serious because
She's
when
right.
you do quilting, you need a lot of fabric. You
Yeah.
need a lot. And the cost per yard is so expensive. It really takes away the joy of it.
Yeah.
Cuz and people always say, "Will you make me a quilt? Will you make me a quilt?" And I'm like, "No."
Because you won't want to pay it.
No.
You can buy a quilt for far less than it would
Yeah.
cost to have someone professionally
Yeah.
make one, even if they only charged you for the materials and didn't even charge you for labor, which
And
it's a
labor.
long time.
Labor is a lot. And I remember watching my mom grow up because my mom was a seamstress. And then she was a seamstress for a long time. And then she did wedding gown alterations. And man, I used to see the work she did on those wedding dresses. Because some of them, the people buy it. You a size 18, you don't need to buy a size 8 dress. And they want that size 8 dress to be an 18.
But you're going to lose weight by the time the wedding comes around.
And it got all these beads and sequins, and she would have to take in the lace, she would have to take all that off and to hem it, to take it in, to shorten it, to lengthen it. And then, the store sets the price. When she was working at a store, they set the price. And I'm like, man, I used to watch her work on them dresses for days, sometimes weeks, depending on how intricate the detail was. So when I got married, she was like, "You gonna let me make your wedding dress?" I said, "No, ma'am." Because I know what it takes. Because I
Yeah.
used to watch her make the dresses, and then you make the dresses, and the people want all this lace, sequins, beads, and all of this, and I'm like, no, because I know what I want. So I'd rather go to the store, pay it, and let them alter it to keep the stress off of you. Because I didn't want her to
Yeah.
have to go through all that. So yeah, and it's the same with a quilt, man. You get that seam wrong, you have to take sometimes just one block apart, sometimes row apart just to fix one error, unless you don't care because it's for you. But if you're making it for somebody else, it got to be kind of perfect. So I'm like, mm-mm.
Yeah, in the machine age, it's been reduced to a hobby, and when something gets reduced
Yeah.
to a hobby, it gets expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And a lot of the quilters that were in my quilting group, they didn't make quilts for people either.
same reasons.
Yeah. Now we had we had three ladies that they would make quilts for people. They did. And these people would come in with this pattern, and they bring in the most intricate pattern seemed like in the world. And it was like, how much is this gonna cost? And it's like, okay, what size do you want? How much color do you want? All of this, and then they hear the price, because it takes time, all of that cutting, all of that sewing, that
Yeah.
ironing. That does take a lot of time. It's fun to me. It's fun because I'm doing it for myself, but mm-mm.
And I Collect is here.
Hey,
And they said they just started with vintage Star Wars a few weeks back.
Whoa.
It's hard. It's hard now. It's gotten so expensive.
Yeah, it's so crazy
Yeah.
to collect, but it's been fun. Good.
And that's what counts.
That's all that counts. Hey, Robert,
is
how
here.
are you?
Raccoon.
We got Raccoon Eyes in the house.
Jay.
We got Jay. We got Jay.
Jay.
And we got Brad.
Brad is
hey,
here.
Brad Underwood. How are you?
Is, yeah.
We got Chance is here. I'll tell you in a minute, Chance. Let's say hey to everybody first. Oh, and then K-Munin want to know which anime. We still on not Death Note.
No, not
Ninja Scroll.
Ninja Scroll.
We only watch 2 episodes a week now.
Yes.
So,
it's gonna be a minute.
It's gonna be so don't think we sitting there binging or even watching it every day. That's not happening. We only on like episode 8, I think. Because last week we did watch it. But the 2 weeks before that, I don't think we watched it, because I know we didn't watch it when we were at Joe Lanta.
Yeah.
We didn't watch it that week.
Yeah,
and I think the week before we didn't watch it. So, we kind of behind.
Robert misses the days when they would post yard sales and stuff at the laundromat and supermarket.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Oh, wow, we way behind.
Yeah, Austin Bird is here. Oh, New York Comic Con is next week.
Oh, that's coming up.
My Flock.
We got My Flock. Hey, Sarah, how are you?
Gilgamesh is
here.
We
got Gilgamesh. I haven't seen you in a while, Gilgamesh. How are you? Great to see you again. Johnny says,
I bet you go to a mom and pop store for fabric. Remember that?
Yeah.
Big box store like Hobby Lobby, even tools like scissors are expensive.
Yeah. I did go to, growing up, we used to go to mom and pops to get fabric, because for some reason they had better quality fabric, and they also were cheaper, but not anymore. They're way more expensive than Walmart and even Joann's. Walmart big box store is the least expensive, but you don't get a wide variety. You can get some stuff on Amazon, but not yardage, and it still costs. eBay, you can find more stuff on eBay.
Yeah.
Okay.
People that just want to get rid of something after a project, and you can get it for a good price sometimes.
Yeah.
And Chance is talking about making the classic Star Trek green Captain Kirk wraparound tunic for cosplay is impossible. Tommy Fletcher is there.
Tommy, how are you?
Robert wanted to know if we had wedding pictures. Yeah, we took a lot of wedding pictures.
Oh, yeah, we got all kind of wedding pictures.
Actually.
Nobody goes from size 18 to 8 without Susie.
Well, they were planning. That's the whole point. It's like, I'm going to get it a small size, and that'll be my incentive to lose weight. And then she goes up 2 sizes, and then she takes the dress in to get fixed because she's got a week left.
And I didn't know.
That's what happens.
Because I remember this girl came. She was in high school, and she had this prom dress, and she was big. And she wanted that dress, but the dress was too small. And my mom was like, okay, I'm sitting there like, how you gonna make that dress that size? She was like, oh, you just put a gusset in it. And I'm like, what is a gusset? So you cut the sides.
Yeah.
And you add fabric in there.
So it still looks the same.
Yeah, but you put a piece on the side. So imagine it cutting the side of the shirt and just adding a piece. But you got to add the same amount.
And you got to do it right.
Both sides.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, you can do that? And she was like, yes, now I know. I'm like, wow. And she did it.
Yeah.
And the dress looked like nothing went on with that dress. And I'm just like, man. And I'm like, why don't you just buy the size you need? But okay, my dad was made
Made
a
patchwork quilts, one
wow.
for me and my younger sister. I'm doing good if I can sew up a hole in my pants, says Gilgamesh. Link is here.
Hey Link, how are you?
And Fiddle Chips.
Hey Fiddle
And
Chips.
Fiddle Chips says, I wonder with the rising costs, is Crazy Quilt out of business? I don't know.
What's Crazy Quilt?
Display name is here.
Hey, display name.
But all of those things, that stuff that people used to do, like making soap, like she makes soap also.
Yeah, I make soap.
And people are like, oh, you should make soap and sell it at the flea market.
No, I ain't making no soap and selling
Why?
it on
So
the
they can be like
market.
$10 a bar. And
it's going to be more than that because
and no one will buy it because they can go get some crap at Walmart for like a quarter the price.
I make soap, and I was looking on YouTube to get some ideas, and they just put regular old lard or vegetable oil. I actually use
and that's not good either.
Essential oils and butters.
Yeah.
So real oils and real butters.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that mess is expensive. So, I can use some vegetable oil or some lard and charge you $10 a bar,
if anyone will buy that.
Yeah,
which
but
you see these people at flea markets and at antique malls and stuff, and that stuff is not flying off the shelves.
Ain't flying off no shelf.
No.
No, I don't buy patterns at all. I'll download them out off of the internet. You can find
Johnny is asking.
Yeah, Johnny. I'll buy them. Not buy. I've never bought a pattern. I'll download it off of the internet.
You see a lot of patterns at Goodwill.
Yeah, or I will. Oh, I have a bunch of quilting books, and then you can look at the pattern. But some of them, they're usually a basic square or triangle, and it's all about how you organize them. So if it's like a basic, your basic 5 blocks, you can make about anything. You just need to know the size of the square or the size of the block, and that's it. I've been busy, lots going on at work and cleaning my yard, fixing my greenhouse. You did say you had a greenhouse.
That's Gilgamesh there.
Yeah, evenings has been for sleeping as much as I can.
Johnny remembers going to his grandma's house, and the entire living room had a quilt up 4 posts doing patchwork quilting. Had to walk all the way around it. And artist Jesse Saywad is here.
When I was growing up, it was a bunch of women that would come together and they would make a patchwork quilt. And then when it got to the end, they would put yarn in it, and then you tied it. So everybody seemed like in the community would come and help tie those knots. And I remember doing that a couple of times. I really do feel bad for women when it comes to clothing size. Numerous exes struggled with that problem.
Says Legends.
Yeah, it can be, especially if you're getting alterations done.
Yeah.
I
collect, says they focusing on the first 12 figures from the first line Star Wars.
Okay.
Princess Leia is ridiculous. Got to watch out for fake guns and fake. Yeah, that's gotten to be a huge
the 3D
problem
stuff
in the modern era. Is like counterfeit weapons and accessories.
Yeah.
And it can be very hard to distinguish. That's correct.
Hey, James.
James is here. He says we're the best.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Legend says Dr. Squatch soap bars are only $7. Seems to work for a decent amount of time.
Yeah. I like putting a lot of stuff up in mine.
Tommy says Bed Bath and Beyond went under. Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Well, they were connected with who else? Oh no, am I thinking of Bath and Body Works?
I think you're thinking about Bath and Body Works.
Yeah, one of them was Bath and Body Works. I think is connected to
Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
So Dallas. Okay, as we know, Mark is dead.
Yeah, that's right.
JR read Jessica's diary. Jessica has kidnapped Miss Ellie. And JR read the diary and found out he got half of it figured out, that the fire was started and oh God, I can never remember the guy, Miss Ellie
Southern
Boy.
Cross Ranch.
Southern Cross was burnt
Yeah.
down, but Miss Ellie's boyfriend didn't know Jessica did it, and didn't know that he did it. We all found out that Jessica is Dusty's mother, and Miss Ellie's boyfriend is the actual uncle. So we got that done. Um, Bobby told Pam that the reason why he ended everything was because of his letter. Explained that Catherine read a letter that she wrote to him. Pam is like, I never wrote no letter. And
She
then
did though.
she didn't.
She wrote that letter
She
and
did
then
not. No,
she
she did
threw it
not.
away.
No, she
She
did
rolled
not.
it up and threw it in the
No,
trash.
she did not.
Okay. Well, chance will know.
No, she didn't write the letter. Catherine typed up the letter and put it with a lot of stuff and told Pam that it was some paperwork she had to sign
Oh,
for the
okay,
business.
okay.
And Pam didn't read it, just signed everything.
Pam's an idiot.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I agree with JR on. Pam does not need to be part of that family. She's
Yeah.
a moron.
Yeah. So
But,
so Pam slapped Catherine, and that's where we are.
and Gilgamesh
No.
said there's a McFarlane Flavor Flav figure.
Oh my
That guy.
God.
And Munin says went to an out of the way Walmart. Their collector section was shrunk and it's now mostly pops.
Wow.
That's most of them, I think. And I collect wants the infamous blue snaggletooth. That's going to be a tough one.
What's a blue snaggletooth?
There's two different snaggletooths. One is tall and has a blue clothing, and one is short and has red clothing. And the blue one is pretty tough to find.
They're never gonna get anywhere close to Who Shot JR. You're never gonna outdo that. Who wants a Flavor Flav figure? McFarlane will make anything.
You want to know who wants a Flavor Flav figure? Flavor Flav. Because he gets them royalties.
I would like it if it's the whole Public Enemy with Chuck D, Professor Griff, Terminator X, and S1Ws. I would get it. But we did go when we were at the toy swap. The guy had some drawings that Chuck D did and signed. Nobody knew Chuck D was an artist. You remember he showed us those
at the cut. He says he couldn't get $10 a piece for him.
Yeah,
nobody cares about that. He
I
said
thought
it was
about
a
it.
signed album. People will be scrambling for it, but since it's a comic, nobody gives a damn.
Hey, Logic Blaster, how are you?
He says, "Great to see us."
Yeah, we're doing okay. It's been a I don't want to say tumultuous, but a lot's been going on this week. It was an eventful week, but you know, all in all, it was okay. We managed through.
Yeah, Nostalgic says we're in for a real shock at the end of the season. That we're
but
on.
That wasn't that one the last.
That's a cliffhanger. So
yeah, that was the last episode, right? No, I think it's one more because this one got 30 episodes. I think it's one more episode for this season, I believe.
Fiddle Chip says they miss mom and pop toy stores. It kept the inventory forever. I mean, remember seeing them feather dusting Bionic Man toys in '86. World's greatest mom and pop toy store, Mr. Big Toyland in Waltham, Massachusetts. So infamous, you can find information for it now, and they've been gone for decades. If you were to type in Mr. Big Toy Store Waltham, you can find pictures from it on Google Images. I'm serious. And the reason that they were so infamous was because they were importing real Japanese toys.
Oh wow.
Right during when Force 5 was playing on UHF stations across the country Monday through Friday. So, you know, while Mattel was doing this stuff, Mr. Big was getting crates from Japan with the real ones. And they're absolutely, they were infamous, but, you know, they went the way of the dodo with all the other mom and pop toy stores, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's rare that the blue snaggletooth is so rare and expensive. It seemed like all his friends
That's
had
what Display says.
Yeah, and Patrick is here.
Well, you know, that's how that goes. And I've talked about it before, and I've used it as an example, the ROM Space Knight. I remember in the early 90s, there were dealers had whole cases of them. They couldn't sell them mint in the box for $20 a pop. Try to find one now. You can't find them.
Yeah, we watch it season by season. We watch one episode a week.
Yeah.
I don't know what season we're on though, but we've been watching it for a while. So we're kind of down the road. We
Yeah.
might be at 5 or 6. I
don't
have
know.
no
I'm
idea.
not sure off the
But
top
we
of my
only
head.
watch one episode a week
That's
until we're
how
done.
we do everything. We don't binge any shows.
Yeah.
Well, one episode a week usually, maybe
Yeah.
two if it's a
If a
half-hour
30-minute show, we'll
Mhm.
watch two. If it's an hour, we watch one.
And Collect reminds us that it was with the Cantina set
Oh, okay.
from Sears, the Blue Snaggletooth.
Mm-hmm.
Legend says, still intrigued by the coffee talk short I made about the fake babies. Okay. Yeah, there's as in for another channel, I did a short.
Yeah.
And there was women, and there was women in the Value Village pushing
okay.
baby carriages. Okay, they're older women. All right, they're
Well, the one she wasn't that old.
Well, a couple of them look like they could be in their 50s or older.
Yeah, two of them.
And they had baby carriages, and they were buying baby clothes and baby toys, and they had those real doll infants in the baby carriage. They were not real. There was those like silicone ones you pay like $1,000 for. You know the ones I'm talking about. Real glass eyes,
Yeah.
silicone skin, and all of this other stuff. And it's like, ooh, it's a club of childless women who have babies, and I'm like, God, we just like showcase mental illness now in this country. It's crazy.
But it felt so sad and creepy.
It did.
Because I was in the aisle and I walked by the lady and she had the carriage and she was pushing it, and I turned to look at something and I saw the baby, but the baby had the eyes wide open and was staring straight.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I kept staring at the baby, staring. I'm like, that baby not real. And I kept looking and the eyes never moved. It never blinked. I said, oh no, that's a doll baby.
Oh no.
And it made me think of that movie with Jessica Biel in it. And she had a babysitter and everything, and the baby was a doll. And then I passed by the other lady that she was with, and hers
had one.
Yeah, hers was a baby. I mean a doll. And the doll had the pacifier in the mouth, looking like it was sleeping. And then the other lady, I couldn't see, because now I was curious. I wanted to see if the other lady had one. I'm sure she did. But yeah, they were picking out toys because they were in the toy aisle. And then when we got to the register, they came up to the register and they had all this baby clothes. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on here? Is it like a cult or something? The same people that want Flavor Flav is the same people that want Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, pretty much. And Tommy wants to know who shot Buckwheat.
Oh, that's the thing
Saturday
from
Night
Live.
Yeah,
Saturday
with
Night
Eddie
Live.
Murphy. John David Stutz
Hot
killed
Wheel
Buckwheat.
Flippers.
Link says Hot Wheel Flippers.
Uh-oh.
And I'm not kidding either. Look it up. John David Stutz was the name of the character from that episode of Saturday Night Live. Display says they made a Public Enemy 3 3/4 inch figure set with D flavor. Oh yeah, the
Really?
reaction figures did a while back.
Oh man,
That's
but
right.
they didn't have. Oh yeah, from Super 7, right? I think Super 7 did. They didn't do the S1Ws. Oh wow.
Well,
I love Public Enemy. I used to listen to them growing up. I still want to collect some of their records, the earlier stuff. I don't buy Hot Wheels. I go to Walmart. There are people open it.
That's what Link says. Yeah, God. Adults fight over that stuff. Like them Pokemon cards. They'll beat you to death for a pack of Pokemon cards, and then they open it and they don't get anything good. Tommy said ROM is a very fragile and brittle plastic. Yeah, some of those are. Some of them are. And Fiddle Chip says Valco toy stores in Astoria, Queens, 1990. You could find Remco Monsters, Bionic Man, Superpowers. Wow. You know what was another one? In Brookline, and it was Brookline Tobacco. And it was a tobacconist's, but he sold toys. And you could go in there in the 90s and find the 70s and 80s stuff left over that he still had. It reeked of pipe tobacco, but it was still sealed Star Wars and G.I. Joe and all kinds of stuff. Fisher Price Adventure People sets. And because nobody expected to find that in there. I don't even know if that place exists. It was on Harvard Ave in Brookline. Gilgamesh says, do you prefer a shorter or longer series to watch? I think 4 or 5 seasons is good enough. Well, It depends on whether or not they can maintain it, because sometimes you can have a long run on a show
Mm-hmm.
and it did good, like MASH.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not lost.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes you have a long run on a show and they stretched it out beyond where it should have kept going,
Mm-hmm.
like The Walking Dead, where
Mm.
it just started, people just started slogging through it. They
Yeah.
watched it because they were already watching it. They were all sick of it. Even fans of it were sick of it.
I got tired of it, but you were so invested. You done
Yeah.
went for years watching this thing.
And then like Cheers is a good example. A lot of people, you know, if you watch Cheers, the first 3 seasons or so are really good.
Mhm.
And that's with oh god, what was her name?
The girl that played Diane.
Yeah, the original girl who played Diane before Kirstie Alley
When
took
she
over.
got on there, the show went
The
downhill.
show went downhill.
Yeah.
And then in the last season, they the writing was some of the best from the entire series. So sometimes you get gaps, and I talk about that. Like I've used Star Trek: The Next Generation as an example. Star Trek: The Next Generation wasn't good until the 3rd season, and then even then, the last season or so fell off again. But you know, that middle block for Next Generation was decent. You see that sometimes they take a show too far. Sometimes, like people have made that argument about Firefly. Oh man, they should go back and do Firefly again. Are you sure? Because they canceled it after 1 season. It was popular. It was a good show. But then, if they brought it back, would they just screw it up?
Yeah.
They may as well just leave it where it is.
And they did that with The Strain. The Strain was good, and I think it was meant to be either 3 or 4 seasons, but you could tell when it was supposed to end.
Mhm.
But people liked it so much they brought it back for another season, and you could tell they had to drag everything out for that season. It wasn't good because it should have ended the season before.
Yeah.
And they had it set up to end. And then they brought it back, and it's like, oh man, you messed it up. But it was a good show all in all. I liked it. There go David.
From
Hey.
Nostalgic from the 70s. He says, happy Thanksgiving to Canadians watching the best live stream on YouTube. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And a good example also, Babylon 5. Because Babylon 5, the guy who wrote that series, wrote it to he only wanted 5 seasons out of it, and they wanted to stretch it beyond a 5th season. He was like, nah, 5. Babylon 5. Legend says, apologies for mentioning another channel. Thank you for explaining that more.
No problem. It's okay. It's okay. We just try to keep everything compartmentalized.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all. But it's okay. We thank you for watching.
Johnny says real life baby dolls can run upwards in the thousands. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And these babies, they look good because, like I said, when I saw that first one,
at a glimpse, you would think they were newborns.
Yeah. But then if you look at them, the eyes kind of gave it away because they didn't blink and they just had this stare to it. So it kind of blew it up. Wow, we in season 8?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Says Nostalgic.
There are 14 seasons, 2 reunion movies.
Yeah.
And a 3-part miniseries
on TNT.
Oh, wow. I thought they brought the whole show back and kind of
seasons, he says. Mini seasons.
Oh, mini seasons.
Well,
okay. Yeah, because I know they brought it back, and then it was like everybody's kids, and I think JR and Bobby came back. I'm not sure about Pam and Sue Ellen, but I know they brought it back a couple times.
I don't like Pam.
Yeah, I know you
Johnny
don't like
says
Pam.
Johnny says who killed Alfalfa? In real life, the actor who played Alfalfa was shot and killed in a dispute about a hunting dog.
Oh,
that's
wow.
unfortunate. And Munin says Super 7 definition, the new face in the clearance aisle, and soon to be Ollie's peg warmers.
Hey,
they're
Punisher.
not doing well. Punisher is here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Who's
Super
not
7's
doing well?
Super 7 aftermarket. They're dying.
I don't think it's anything they've done that's made a profit aftermarket.
Yeah.
Because sorry.
Oh no, go on.
No, I was gonna say we saw the Thunder Tank at the show.
Oh, it's selling below.
I think $300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the Thunder Tank sealed.
Yeah.
At the convention, we've seen a couple of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty sad. I own Dallas shows and movies on DVD. We are watching it on
Where are
one
we
of the
watching?
streaming
Wherever,
platforms.
we don't
Yeah,
know.
one of the streaming platforms. That's where we're watching it at. So, but I do want to see what they did with the reboots and the reunions, just to see how it played out.
Yeah. Johnny says if you can keep primary actors over the years, the longer the show goes, all the better. Your audience is invested in the actors playing the part. It
Yeah,
also tends to typecast the hell out of them too.
yeah, because Marshall Dillon show got typecast, and
20
Guns
years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Chester got typecast too, but
Yeah.
he moved on midstream, and then Festus came in there,
Yeah.
and Miss Kitty and
Ugh.
Doc.
Nostalgic has the 2004 reunion special he recorded from
Oh
CBS,
wow!
live from the South Fork Ranch exterior ranch set.
Oh wow!
And for those of you who aren't aware, of course, Chance from Nostalgic Pod Blast, that is his channel. And
Yes,
he does a lot of nostalgic related stuff like what we're talking about there.
yes. I'm a Dallas freak. Heck, I'm just a plain old freak. I like Dallas, and now that is one show I think I could binge watch. Not because I want to get through it, but after every episode, especially when because they usually they try to cut off with Jr. That's what it seems like with every episode. He gets that last word and that last parting shot. It makes you want to watch the next episode, but we don't. But it makes you just want to like, man, I want to know what's gonna happen next. But we always wait till the next week, and it's
Yeah.
better that way.
Yeah.
Hey,
DC is
Doctor
here.
Dr. Cohen, how are you?
What are my action figure holy grails?
Whoa.
All stuff that I'm looking for. Wow. That's a long list.
No.
And we'll catch up a couple here, and then
Okay,
we'll get
then
into
we'll
that.
talk about
Fiddle
that.
Chip says, "Want nothing I love to be created right now. Entertainment industry has their heads up somewhere. How do you lose money with Star Wars and Lord of the Rings when you view them as a franchise and you only see dollar signs instead of concentrating on what it was that made those cultural phenomenons in the first place?"
Okay, cool. Sue Ellen came back with it for TNT, and so did everybody else, to include Lucy and new character by classic actors like Lee Majors. Okay, he came in there. Now, one thing back to what Fiddle Chips was talking about, something I've been seeing a lot of on YouTube asking the question, not just with the movie industry, but the music industry also.
It's dying.
Is it over? Everybody's been saying for some years that it's been dying, but now, especially like the things that's happening with Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs, the stuff that's going on with Hollywood, all of these movies that are like failing and TV shows that are not doing good, are these entertainment, I'll just say entertainment industry, is it dead? Is it going away? And actually, when the writer's strike came up, what, about a year or so ago, year or two ago, I was kind of glad. I was like, maybe they'll stop writing and give everybody a break.
Yeah.
To go back and actually watch some shows that were good. But they came back kind of quick.
Yeah. They didn't last long. They knew they weren't going to get far, quite frankly.
Yeah. Gunsmoke is the longest
show that we have on disc.
Yeah. We got the
Johnny
whole
wants to know
season. We bought some of Dark Shadows, but we didn't get the whole thing.
Yeah.
We found it at Goodwill.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if Dark Shadows is longer than Gunsmoke. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But I know it's a lot of seasons in there, and it's on Tubi, so you can watch it for free. So that's good enough.
And Hank is here. Glad you could make it.
Hey, Hank, how are you?
But yeah, Grails stuff that I'm looking for. I mean, I still need a loose deluxe IG-88 because I've got the deluxe figures and I've got some loose in some of the box, and they're actually right here. And those are the 1978 deluxe ones that are in 1/6 scale. And I still need a Princess Leia and an IG-88 loose mint and complete. I'll take them in the box if I can find them, but you know how it is. I'm lucky to have those in the box, but to at least have the loose set, I need those two. And especially IG-88 is going to be really, really tough. And then over here, you've got the Brave Star, And there's still a few I'm missing from Bravestar, like a 3030. I don't have the 3030 in the box. And then there's a couple of 2-packs I don't have, like 3030 in Bravestar. There's a 2-pack. 3030 in Tex Hex. There's a 2-pack. And then there's a infamous like carded version of Marshall Bravestar that has a cassette, like a storybook type. And there's also a Bravestar that has a Marshall's badge instead of a Carium nugget.
Mm.
And over on the Inhumanoids, I still need the Liquidator on the card. And not that those figures ever even come up on the card, hardly. You don't see them ever. But those 3 cards that I have, the human figures, are flawless. So if I found a Liquidator, he'd have to be like mint unpunched. That's going to be tough. And I'm missing down there Decompose also from the deluxe from the Inhumanoids. Just to name a few. I mean, that's a tall order to even like contemplate. What are grails, because there's a piece of this and a piece of that missing all over the place.
Yeah.
I have very few sets that are actually complete. You know what I mean?
Some shows lasted way too long. Archie Bunker, MASH, Love Boat, Cosby Show. Yeah, some of them just went on.
Display. Have you watched Dark Shadows?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen it. It kind of got tiring.
It did. Dark Shadows was good at the very beginning when it was in black and white before Barnabas got there. And it was Burke Devlin, and they wanted to find out who killed Mr. I can't remember his name now. That was good. Then that was over, and then you found out that Miss what's her name? The main lady that never left the house. You found out of the whole story behind her husband, and that guy and his little minion came, and that started to get a little tiring. And then Barnabas came in.
It saved the show, actually.
Yeah, he saved you, because that guy that was with I cannot think of the mother. Had her all hemmed up. He about made me stop watching. And then Barnabas came and handled him. Then it got better. And it was fine all the way up until they went to the past and they introduced the witch. And then she made it just difficult to watch. Then that was over, and then it was fine for a while again. And then the witch came back. Angelique, that's her name. Yeah. Angelique came back, and
just got sick of her.
Yeah. And then they introduced the Adam character, and I just had to stop. And honestly, I stopped and forgot about the show. Every now and then I'll think about it and say, okay, I'll start back. But from my understanding, from talking to some of y'all, Angelique keeps coming back. And you're like, oh my God, she was just insufferable. She really made it hard to watch. I have to admit, Pam was pretty on Dallas. Great actress. David thinks
who?
What's her name? Girlfriend is the prettiest. Cliff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, prettier than all of them. Can I recommend a show for you both? It's on YouTube, An Idiot Abroad with Carl Pilkington. Highly recommend it. Please check it out. I'll check it out, but that name sounds like something I'm not gonna like. But I'll check it out.
Frankenfrog is here.
Yeah,
as well as Reston's Last Stand is here.
And Chance Loves Gunsmoke.
Try to catch up a little bit here.
Yeah.
There's Kentucky Mud.
Hey, Kentucky Mud. How are you? Hey, Brandon.
I don't think I've seen you for a minute. Munin says, music has been trashed for years. Sooner it goes under, the better. It's embarrassing how bad some of the songs are.
Yeah, it is.
And Johnny says there's a new Oz movie coming out in the movie theaters called Wicked. Are you going to watch it? No. It's not. None of it was written by Frank Baum.
We saw the previews when we went to the movie theater. Thank you, Stone Sour.
And Stone Sour made a donation for the kiddies.
We need that clapping and cheering.
Yay! Sound. We'll do that. Thank you, Stone Sour. Seriously,
we're losing a lot of people lately. James Earl Jones, Richard Simmons, the guy from Good Times, just passed away. You know who else passed away? Virgil.
Yeah,
the
Virgil,
guy that
the
played
wrestler.
Virgil. Yes.
Well, wrestlers drop like flies, though.
Yeah,
honestly.
but he died pretty bad. He had Alzheimer's, and he was in a nursing home. He had a bunch of strokes and stuff. He died pretty sad. But he didn't just die. He died earlier this year.
Yeah.
So it was a while ago, but I don't know if we mentioned it because it seemed like it kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah.
Oh wow, they had a Gunsmoke radio.
Yeah, Chance tells us that it started as a radio drama.
Really?
With William Conrad. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
And Mickle Stapler is here. He says he's custom painting G.I. Joe classified timber into my dog Wolf, German Shepherd black with light brown highlights.
Okay.
That's interesting. And Johnny says Wicked opens November 21st. But yeah, Frank Baum, the guy who wrote the original, not that the movie, the original Wizard of Oz, had anything to do with what Frank Baum wrote in his books in the first place. It was really kind of different. But he wrote like something like 43 or 45 volumes of Wizard of Oz. And then he sold the rights, and then they started writing from there. But Wicked is very new. And it's a musical that was written for the Broadway theater.
That's right, Elizabeth Stoddard. That was the
Thank you.
The main
know who you're
mother.
Talking about.
Yeah, that's her name. I don't know why I could not think of her name, but yeah, Mrs. Stoddard, and she was actually a good actress. We've seen a lot of movies she was in when she was young. She was actually a pretty good actress. Yeah, I agree with you, Fiddle Chips. They think we're all stupid, especially Disney. Disney thought they could put anything out. We're gonna sop up all of these franchises, these major ones, Star Wars, Marvel.
And people will just like it just because they're sheep.
Exactly. And they're starting to see that no, that ain't the truth.
And I've talked about that.
Like that.
I've talked about that many times because they never go back to the core of it. What made it a cultural phenomenon in the first place? Why did people love it so much? They don't care about that. They're like, oh, how much money can we make? And oh, we'll do this and that and this and that. And then you get further and further away from the core of what made it special. And then the people who were endeared to it, and including people who might be approaching it for the first time, it's unrecognizable. Or it doesn't make sense, because you could introduce Star Wars to someone who's never seen it, the original trilogy, and they might watch it and say, yeah, that's a pretty good story, actually. And they might be into it. But you show them something from the last couple of years, and they're like, because they don't care. You killed it. You're just worried about money, and you killed it, and you made no money because they're hemorrhaging money, these studios.
Yeah, and it's like they don't invest. Well, I can't say they don't invest in good actors and I'll just say actors, because I don't know if they're putting out good actors anymore.
They're pretty dull-witted. A lot of them, it's pathetic.
I still swear these actors don't go to acting school.
Like the girl from The Last of Us. I am an actress. Look at me. This is all of my emotional states. This is me happy. This is me sad. This is me frightened. All they do is memorize lines. They can't freaking act.
And that is the exact same look all of them put out. And I remember on The Walking Dead, that girl Enid, she was the first one I remember thinking, why she looked like that? In every scene, she had no
facial expressions.
None. And that was the first person I remember seeing look like that. And now all of them look like that. And it's like, don't they teach you? I thought that was part of going to acting school. They teach you how to emote, how to make somebody believe and feel what you're saying and doing. But they don't do that. How many humanoids do you need?
I need 2. Okay. There's 13 and 2 vehicles. And I have all but 2 of the figures. Nostalgic says Dallas Who Shot JR story was so big they remember in grade school teachers organized a raffle.
Who could guess correctly?
As we catch up here, Johnny says they got the entire series of Rambo. That's right. Johnny was telling me, and that's
the cartoon.
That's
right?
a tough cartoon to find. It is. It's a tough cartoon to find.
Okay, we said hello.
Kentucky Mud. As you catch up a couple here. Barnaby Jones, Nostalgic recognizes or recommends Barnaby Jones. I remember that show. And there's Nerd.
Hey, Nerd.
Join the chat a little late. That's okay.
That's all right. You're
that
here.
Is quite okay.
And that's all that matters. I love Angelique. Adam was annoying. Adam did the drugs.
Yeah.
They drug that. Yeah, they did drag it out. We got to the point where Adam kidnapped Carolyn.
Yeah.
And that's where we stopped. Audrey Landers was one of
Cliff's girlfriend actors. Her character was Mitch. He married Lucy's sister.
Oh yeah. And then we got Hank.
Hank says, with everything coming out about Diddy, is so mad about my childhood being ruined. I want to see all the stars involved drug into court and prosecuted. Don't let it ruin your childhood. It's kind of like the whole thing with Cosby. Cosby gotten in all kinds of trouble. Maybe he's guilty, maybe he's not. I still love Fat Albert again.
Yeah.
You know, just leave it right there in the 70s where it was, and I'll enjoy it. You know,
I would love to have that set. I actually looked it up.
The Spectre toys, Meagle like Dark Shadows.
Those
she's talking
are
about.
very expensive.
They are.
I have looked it up. I would love to have that. But they're the only ones that made Dark Shadows, and they only
did like 3 or 4 figures.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's 4. They did Barnabas, Angelique, the Wolfman, and I want to say they did the David Shelby's character, Quentin. I think they did his character.
And Mud tells us Pete Rose. That's right, Pete Rose.
Chris Christopherson died recently.
Pete Rose was a blast if you ever saw him at signings. Oh, Stone Sour made another
picture ever. Yes,
another donation to the channel for our little kitty friends.
Yeah,
Pete Rose at shows. If you brought him a baseball to sign, because a lot of you are aware, Pete Rose got into a lot of trouble and has been rejected from the Baseball Hall of Fame because he got caught gambling. And, you can't gamble on games that you're involved with.
Yeah.
And he would write things like, Pete Rose, I apologize in advance for the alien invasion. Or I'm sorry for my involvement with the Kennedy assassination. He would apologize for all kinds of random stuff when he would personalize baseballs. It was hilarious. He got a kick out of that whole thing. He would apologize for anything. I apologize for ruining your childhood. He just write anything on there. And I just thought it was funny. He embraced the suck, as it were. And T. Stewart says he told his wife he wanted a
Mickey Mantle.
Then a Manticore for his birthday. She saw the price and said, stick to toys. No kidding.
Chance's birthday is coming up. So all of y'all remember that his birthday is coming up on the 21st.
I have a birthday coming up.
Your birthday a long way.
My birthday's in December.
Yeah,
and he says, smash the like button. Yes, please do if you do not mind. And Johnny says, like the second Joker movie, I think they're going to totally wreck Wicked because they don't care about the franchises. No, they just want money.
Yeah.
Now, I'll pick up.
Okay.
I did get a barrel of monkeys. And this is an 80s barrel. And the monkeys are in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. I do get monkeys.
Oh, okay.
There's more in there too. They just,
fell off.
They cling. Yeah. But I did find a barrel of monkeys, and it does have the instructions for how to play written across the bottom, just in case you're a total moron. But classic. That is classic. Come on, who doesn't want a barrel of monkeys?
I don't.
Oh. And Munin says, speaking of Wicked, when I was an acting student, my teacher had the original poster on the wall. The original Frank Baum Wizard of Oz is a good read. It's worth checking out because Tin Man and Scarecrow are murdering bastards in the book. They do kill in the book. Mickey Staples says what Disney did to Star Wars is unforgivable. They turned Luke, one of the best heroes created, into a grumpy old fart that did nothing but complain and completely contradict everything that came before. And drank blue milk.
Thank you.
Reston says gave a donation for the cats. How about another trivia night? We're working on it.
Yeah, we got to come up with
something.
We are
working on it.
People
we
always say
appreciate
do
that.
The TV and movie line.
I get in trouble with those.
Yeah,
but,
even speaking them out.
sometimes, yeah, I can. The algorithm is weird on ScrewTube,
We'll figure
but
one out though.
but yeah, and of course, if some of you might not be aware, we work as sort of a proxy shelter, so we take care of a lot of cats, strays, and abused and abandoned animals, like poor Hobo. And some of you are familiar with Hobo. He had no teeth. He was literally starving to death when we got him.
Oh my God.
You remember Hobo? He
How
was
can I
fur.
not remember
He was
Hobo?
fur and bones. He's still
He
on our
was,
back porch, and
yeah.
he's a big,
Oh, big
fatty
fat.
now. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he is. He's
But
a sweet guy.
he had no teeth. You know,
No,
it's
he
like,
didn't.
why won't he eat? No teeth.
He was
Holy crap.
eating. He was
He
just
tried.
eating really, really
He would
slow.
sit there 2 hours and choke down raw, the hard stuff,
Yeah, that
until
cereal.
he let me get my hands on him, and I was like, oh my God, okay, let's get you some soft food.
Yeah, so now he eats soft food. So
Yeah.
because we figured it out.
Poor
like,
guy.
why did cat eating so long?
Poor guy. But yeah, we take care of him. We had 20. We got 2 adopted. We're down
Yeah.
to 18.
We still need to get more adopted.
Yeah, we're down to 18 now. So we appreciate all the
Yeah.
help. We do.
Yeah.
And Good Shot says Disney isn't really
Yeah.
interested in making money with the movie flops. They're interested in culture change and influence.
I agree with that 100%.
I think they're money laundering, but we'll leave that right there.
Yeah. But I do agree with that. They're more interested in changing culture and influencing things. And it's like, why do you even need to do any of that?
Yeah.
What makes you think we want this cultural shift, and why should you
Nobody.
be the one to champion it? What makes you think anybody needs your influence?
No.
But
they don't.
I don't know.
They don't need it beaten into their heads anyways.
No. And
Yeah.
I mean, it comes in from all angles. And it's like, man, can we get a break from somewhere? You can't watch nothing. That's the main reason we watch all of the vintage shows. It's very, very rare that we watch anything modern or new. Every now and then, it might be something that'll catch your eye. You say, okay,
Yeah,
I'll check
I'll
it
check
out.
it out.
And if the first episode is fine, we might watch the next. But a lot of times we don't get 15 minutes in good before they tell you exactly what we're all about. And then it's like, okay, well, we're not going to watch that anymore.
Yeah, because it's all socio-political. And
you can't even watch a game show. We watched a couple of games because I love Supermarket Sweep.
Sure.
So we tried to watch
The
the
modern
new
one.
one that came on, and it was during election season. And now they got to tell everybody to go vote. And it's like, I don't come to watch Supermarket Sweep to be lectured about voting. I come to watch Supermarket Sweep to see how much y'all can put in y'all basket. I'm serious.
Exactly.
That's what I came for.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't want to watch TV to be lectured.
And they're robbing you of your sanctuary.
Yeah.
Because the reason we watch TV, go to the movies, listen to music, go to sporting events, do our collecting, read comic books, whatever it is that you do it to escape reality, not have it pounded into your head every chance.
Yeah, and now it's in sports. The athletes telling you who to vote for. They wearing shirts. They're telling you this. They're telling you that. And
I don't want to hear it.
nothing
Bounce
from
the
you.
damn ball. Hit the puck.
Exactly.
Leave me alone.
You get paid millions of dollars to run up and down this field in court. Then you need to do that and leave that alone, because we don't have the same issues.
And if you're making $58 million a year, I doubt you care about those issues at all.
Yeah.
So please
you
spare
making $50 million a year. Our issues are not the same. I can't shut down a hospital to have a baby, and I can't shut down a restaurant to go have dinner with my family. So you ain't got to tell me who to vote for. But anyway, that's not why we're here.
And I can't.
We're going to talk about K-Munin. Are there even any genuine Star Wars fans left, or just shills?
I believe there are, if they're the old school ones.
Okay.
I still love the original trilogy, and I still collect the I still try. It's expensive to collect the vintage toys, and I think the vintage toys will always hold a market, but that the modern toys, I don't think anyone cares about. And you see that with all of these franchises. Everybody always wants the original versions of everything. That's the grails for most people. They'll settle for the modern stuff if they don't have a choice. But and sometimes it's not a bad alternative, like with the Street Sharks. The modern re-releases of the Street Sharks, they're not that expensive, and the vintage ones are very expensive.
Yeah.
So if you can't do it, it's not a bad choice. But usually people gravitate towards original versions.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. My whole thing is, and I actually thought about it. The last
Fiddle
female,
chips, that is,
yeah,
that,
fiddle
that
chip.
Disney hates male heroes, they say.
The last female-led movie that I saw that I thought was any good was Set It Off, and that came out in the 90s. That's
Uh-huh.
the last female-led movie I can think about that was any good. The characters were all likable and relatable. But now these female characters, insufferable. You don't want to
And
know
then
them.
in modern era, you could make an argument for Pacific Rim, the Asian girl.
Oh yeah, now that Asian, because I thought she was about to be nasty,
And
but
she
she
wasn't.
wasn't.
She
She
wasn't. She
wasn't.
actually turned out pretty humble.
Yeah,
And
she
that was
was.
like, okay, I can identify with this character.
Right.
And a lot of people liked Kill Bill. With,
Yeah, I saw Kill Bill.
with
I
Kiddo.
really don't remember that movie, but yeah, I remember that. But outside of that, a female-led movie or a movie with a female like kind of main star, I can't
They
think of
they
one.
they make her with no flaws, and if a character has no flaws, you can't identify with
It's
them.
not even that they
You
have
know,
no flaws. Maybe you can be okay with no flaws if they were likable.
hmm
They're not even likable.
actually, a good example of that,
Mhm.
David Carradine in Kung Fu. He was perfect.
Right.
He
But he
was
was likable.
but he because he was very humble.
Right.
He was very humble.
Right. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. If they would make the character likable, somebody like, okay, I would like to be like them. I could go hang out with them, something like that. Then you can look past the fact that they're all perfect.
Why does that keep
I
blinking?
don't know why I keep blinking. But it's okay. You ain't gonna do nothing about it. See, now we can't see the thing. Okay.
I fixed it. I think that's what I'm trying to do. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, and then we got
Brian is here.
Hey,
I know, a
Brian.
day late and a dollar
I
short
know,
here,
right?
saying hi to
Brian
Brian.
said, "Hey," an hour ago.
Yeah, I know,
I
because
saw
we're
Pete
so
Rose.
far behind.
Yeah, but we're gonna get to you. Just
Johnny got a photo
Oh,
with Pete Rose.
okay.
Gilgamesh says Joker 2 wasn't just bad though, it was an FU to the fans of the first one. That's what's upsetting when you take a show and decide to change it.
Oh,
And we actually did a
about
video
2
talking
videos.
talking about that film and what we thought was wrong with it.
Okay.
Kentucky Mud said theirs is in December. And Munin says, "Do we get a birthday live stream for David?"
Depend if his birthday fall on Saturday, you will.
I
If
don't
it
know.
fall
I don't know
on
when it
any
is.
other day, you ain't getting it.
Oh, look at you. Johnny wants to know who remembers the candy coffins. Yes,
I don't remember that. Don't tell me you got some.
They did. No, I got the garbage can because you got this too. There's the coffins. They did a trash can. They did a locker in all different colors, and it was like trash or bones, or the locker had like socks and stuff. And
and it was all candy.
it was candy. It was just the hard sugar. It was like Smarties,
like the cigarette candy.
Yeah, like Smarties.
Yeah.
The flavored colored sugar, and they came in all kinds of crazy containers like this. That was fun times, guys. Fun times.
Chance said he mentioned his birthday was in November because somebody mentioned that Wicked is coming out on November 21st. It doesn't matter. Just let everybody know when your birthday is. We don't care.
Robert wants to know if there's a Joker 3. Hopefully not.
No, if it comes out, I'm gonna wait until it come out on some kind of free thing, or the DVD shows up in Goodwill.
And Fiddle Chip says you foster cats. Yeah, kind of.
I don't know about that word foster.
We rescue, and we end up stuck with them more often than not. But,
yeah.
We love them anyway, and we do the best we can. And we've worked with a couple of shelters before to get them rehomed, as they like to say. An adopted or whatever, and we've had a lot of success with it. We got 7 kittens adopted last year, and 2 adult cats last year, and 2 adult cats this year, adopted.
So
and
we need to get
6 kittens,
16 more adopted.
Whoa!
Yep.
Johnny says, speaking of algorithms, me and a co-worker talking about Rambo Force of Freedom. The next day, Rambo FOF figures were showing up in his feed. The smartwatch picked it up.
Yeah, we talk about things, and we got Alexa and Google, and they start showing us stuff. We start getting commercials based on it. is a company that I have to order from work. We get the YouTube commercials for that company because I go to their website at
Yeah.
work. Of course, my phone is on my desk. So now I'm watching YouTube and I have to see their ads. And I'm like,
Yeah, that crap's spying on you all the time.
it doesn't matter where you go, and I'm at work.
And there's Eric. He
Hey,
says
Eric.
their Prime 1 third scale Keaton and Bruce Wayne has shipped.
Oh, wow.
He says he'd be happy to do a quick review for the channel. That'd
Oh,
be nice.
love it, love it,
Yeah, I'd love to
love
see
it.
that.
I want to see that.
That'd be cool.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Munin says as long as these agenda pushes stay away from anime.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
boy.
I mean, anime comes out of Japan and they don't go for that too much. Mickle says Disney, many other major companies trying to kill modern families. It's everywhere. They cut and celebrity or athletes and praise God. I think that says everything. Yeah, the nuclear family. They try to disenfranchise the nuclear family.
There is no update.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
That's all we're gonna see
about Star Wars. That is. Gilgamesh says, "Sad thing. It's cultural, current day nonsense. Entertaining to a lot of people today." Well, they tell us that it is, but the ratings don't seem to match up with that. In the long run, and they end up pandering to a minority that really doesn't even watch their programming in the first place.
Yeah,
and that's
hey, Darren.
That's the problem. He says, old school Star Wars fan here.
Yay.
There you go. Johnny says, first female-led movie that still holds up, Wizard of Oz. Good point.
That is a female-led movie, and she was not overbearing. She was likable.
And Fiddlechip says 79 Knickerbocker Lord of the Ring figures, hardest set of figures I've ever collected. Those are tough.
Oh, yeah.
That is a tough series.
Hey, crazy
Hungarian. It says episode 4 will always be Star Wars to me. That's the first film. They call it episode 4 or part 4. It said AT-AT will always be Snowwalkers. Han Solo will always shoot first. Always. That's right. He shot first because he knew Greedo was no damn good. And Mighty says Kill Bill top 5 all damn day. And a lot of the fight scenes were copied from choreography from
oh my god,
from Lone Wolf and Cub, Japanese martial arts movie series. Munich says the only entertainment media creating good female characters is anime. Can't let it go.
I know. He always got to throw that in.
It's okay.
Wonder Woman first one was pretty good.
You mean Linda Carter? Are you talking about Linda Carter?
I don't know.
Johnny says wear a crown.
Oh, yeah.
The crown's right there.
He was supposed to wear it. I forgot to tell him.
The crown is right there.
It's too late now. We are hour in.
Nostalgic likes the garbage candy. And Reston said Phoenix did an indie film before Joker 1. You were never really here. That I thought was really good.
I think I saw that. I think it was one that came out around the time of Joker. I thought it was different after, but he was almost like the same character. He had that like schizophrenic mind and stuff. It was actually really good. And I think that's the name of it. I think that's the name. And he kept having these like sessions in his head, but then it would bring you back to what reality really was. But it was actually pretty good. Okay, go ahead, show your thing.
That's okay. And one more here. DC says Rings of Power's Galadriel is so far from what J.R.R. wrote about. That's Tolkien. So unlikable, unrelatable. She just looks constipated all the time. Money is not going to fix that series. Well, Amazon's destroyed it, and they've spent nearly $1 billion a season.
Yeah.
Okay. Mickle's got to go. Well, that's okay.
Nerf war with my son. Y'all have fun. Thank you.
Go play with your kids.
Yes, that's way more important.
Yeah, and Uncarded said Deadpool and Wolverine was pretty awesome.
Okay.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it. Another pickup.
Okay.
She got real excited about this one. It is the Richard Scarry's best learning video ever.
Oh, yeah.
Ever. ABC 123 Learning Songs. Richard Scarry's best learning video ever. And it's a VHS, and it is factory sealed. Factory sealed. Found this at Goodwill today. Fully animated. Fully animated. Man, I love Richard Scarry. I love classic Richard Scarry. Love classic Richard Scarry. And I actually appreciate that Super 7 is making Richard Scarry figures.
I'm getting those.
And the only time that I recall Richard Scarry figures being made was, I think it's Fisher Price Puzzle Town figures.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what, 1971 or 72?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like little 2 or 3 inch figurines. They're not even jointed. And they come with the Puzzle Town sets. And you assemble the buildings and you connect them together when you buy different sets. And that's how you got the figures. And I know McDonald's did some stuff, but they had like Richard Scarry little vehicles maybe with characters in them.
The Happy Meal prizes?
But that's, yes.
Okay, I want to see those. I'm going to look
but
for
the
them.
But the Super 7, I think, are the only legitimate action figures that have ever been done. But yeah, I love Richard Scarry.
And they look great, and the card looks good. I like what they're doing with the Richard Scarry and the Sesame Street ones, because I am getting those reaction. I don't buy their reaction figures. I like the way the card looks though.
Card arts, most of the time their card art's pretty decent.
But those two I'm getting. Still don't know what the NECA Sesame Street look like, but I think I'm a pass on it, unless it's just bang up job on that card, on that card art. So
it's funny how these franchises circulate like that. It's like all of a sudden everybody's doing Bela Lugosi. All of a sudden everybody's doing Sesame Street.
Everybody, and it's like, okay, what's the new thing for the year? It's gonna be this. It's gonna be that. Like next year it might be what's that thing? Fall Guy, or the other one, $6 Million Man. Then everybody's gonna do that. Then everybody's gonna do Space 1999. And it's like, why don't y'all just say, okay, here's it, and you're gonna do that, you're gonna do this, so everybody can get a piece of pie? Nope.
No.
So Johnny bought those 1/6 scale Rambo and Rocky figures
from the Sly shop,
and he said that they got great likeness. Yes, handcrafted and approved. I heard that
by Stallone himself.
I saw on, I think it was his YouTube channel where he was showing it, and it looked really good. It looked good.
Munin says, wonderful business strategy. Cater to people who don't even like your product. They're trying to be on the right side of history, and they don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Uncarded says he got the Cobra from the Stallone shop. That's a goofy movie.
God is here.
It's fun, but it's a good,
good
movie.
Boy. He was the only one that shot.
Oh yeah, Greedo didn't get a chance to get a. He didn't hit the wall with his shot. Greedo, it didn't go. The gun didn't go off. Robert says the only thing I end up watching is murder videos, 48 Hours, Wicked Murder, Snap, stuff like that.
I love those shows.
I think you're my only toy video channel. And
you like Buffy?
Last female-led show they watched was Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I used to watch Charm. Charm was nice. The characters on Charm wasn't bad. They are doing an anime set in the Lord of the Rings.
Really? Going to be original series. I hope it'll be good, says Gilgamesh. And Uncarded says the War of the Rohirrim.
I don't know what that means.
That's from Lord of the Rings. Johnny says, close to Halloween, they saw for the first time the original movie, The Blob, 58. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 56.
Saw that.
We'll need to see Body Snatchers 78 film now.
The 78 one, I think is better. I think
that's the best one.
Yeah, because they did 3 Body Snatchers, the 56, the 78, and then they did one.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, with the guy that plays James Bond. And it was not good.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. It's great. Yeah.
Tolkien is upset.
Yeah, very.
Thank you. Uncarded says original animated Hobbit is legendary and still holds up. Voice acted by Roddy McDowall.
Oh, yeah.
That was I remember that. And it was a television special, and it was pretty damn good, actually.
Nostalgic is
collecting Space Giants toys. I showed you my Space Giants comic, didn't I, Nostalgic?
A new movie called Nosferatu.
The silent movie version and the 70s German film that's dubbed in English are excellent. DC says, what do you think about Super 7 Godzilla? I think they're done well, pretty complete with the monsters. I don't have any. They look okay, but I have not handled one, you
But
know.
those things are like $300, right? Aren't
They
those
they
those
did
big ones?
they have reaction, they
Mm.
have ultimates, and they did Mechagodzilla in scale with the Shogun Warriors one.
Robert said he doesn't like the
Too
Stallone shop.
expensive.
Yeah, but 30 Rambo is better and cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go where your money can take you.
Robert likes the one with Butt Kiss, the dog from Rocky. And
hit that like button.
Yeah, hit the like button. Says nostalgic. We appreciate it. And he says 1993 Body Snatchers with Gabby Anwar.
They did one in 93. Okay, I didn't see that one. I know I saw the one with Daniel Craig. That's his name.
Yeah.
I saw that one, and I think that one came out in the 2000s, I believe.
And Johnny says both
Bram
Tolkien
Stoker
and Bram rolling over in their graves.
Yeah. Okay, we are caught up.
Custom says he loves the 56 Invasion of the Body Snatchers, hate the 78 remake. Really? That's all right.
Yeah, everybody like what they like.
Another pickup.
Mm-hmm.
This is going way back.
Yeah, I heard that they just remade Salem's Lot.
Says nerd. Look at this vintage stocking. That just screams 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Screams 1960s.
Is it screaming 1960?
I don't know, guys. What do you think? Do you think 60s when you see this? And then the thing is a pocket behind here.
Mm-hmm. So you put all your goodies in.
Yeah, you put all the goodies behind there. You fill it up with that coal. You put a switch in there. Santa must have wanted me to tan your hide. Sorry. It's nothing I can do.
You put a bag of lima beans in there.
Lima beans. Hey, there you go. Fill it up. That's it. Fill it up with dry beans.
Robert E. Howard is doing okay in his grave, though. Who is Robert E. Howard?
And then Johnny says they got the Ultimate Deluxe Rocky. It's the only one that had the two turtles, Cuff and Link. And Nostalgic says titled Body Snatchers, same story, no invasion in the movie title.
Oh, okay.
93. Okay. I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen that.
Okay.
But there was a lot of good 80s versions. Like the 80s version of the Blob was good.
The Thing.
80 versions of The Thing was really good.
I think
really
that one was better than the original. I didn't like The Thing. Well, it wasn't a remake. It was like a prequel to the one from the 80s.
Yeah.
And it didn't make any sense. It would have been better if they had picked up where the 80s one left off, because you remember it was just the two guys sitting there in the ice bank. So you know they died. So it would have made more sense if a new crew came and found their bodies and then tried to figure out what happened.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense than a prequel. I hate prequels because you got to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And then it never connects. It's always like bypassed by a million miles. Yeah. It seems like. So even in books, they try to do a prequel to tell you what happened before. And it's like, you already started. You already 30 books, 5 movies down the road. You don't need a prequel. We just kind of figured that out on our own. You might can tell a story, have a scene where somebody's saying, hey, this is what happened to lead us here, but we don't need a full-on movie to take us a million miles from where we got to.
Yeah. And Johnny likes the stocking. Never had one of those.
You never had a stocking at all?
Or like one of these real old school ones from like back in the day, because I'm pretty sure this is probably 60s, and this was from that churchyard sale. Hank says Disney is definitely trying to enforce the woke culture, even if there's a demise, which it will be, because most people are not and will not accept it. Yeah, it's yeah. Munin says, you want a good prank? Put a mousetrap in that Christmas stocking.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Robert says,
that's me.
Robert says they wish they made new space toys that weren't Star Wars, sort of like space toys that were made before Star Wars came out.
Well, they did Silverhawk. Isn't that space?
Yeah, technically.
Oh
And
yeah, Mondo did They Live.
They Live,
Hmm.
uncarded says.
They only did Roddy McDowell, so not Roddy
Roddy
McDowell, Roddy
McDowell.
Piper.
Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper so far.
Hank
um
says the faculty from '98, great film, take on Invasion of the Body Snackers.
I saw the
Snatchers.
faculty. That's the
I
one with
said
Usher.
snackers. The body snackers.
That's the one with
Who?
I think that's the one with Usher in it. The faculty.
I don't know.
I think that's the one. I saw it.
Gilgamesh got the 4-pack of Ninja Turtles Universal NECA
No.
Monsters. Target has a 20 on
Ooh.
75 worth of toys, so that helped. Oh, he got
Oh,
20
that's
bucks
good.
off.
Oh,
Okay.
that's good.
Johnny says they wish they would remake silent films. Now that there are true remakes, should be as if they do it right.
No, no, because I don't like the word remake. Because every time they remake something, it's awful. That I had that stocking, but not that Snoopy. I don't think that's Snoopy. Is that
Yeah.
supposed to be
Yeah,
Snoopy?
Snoopy.
Oh, is it?
See, Snoopy.
I I don't think that's who that
You
is.
can't tell that's a beagle?
No.
It's Snoopy.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
The new Beetlejuice movie is supposed to be the most profitable movie in Warner Brothers history or something like that.
I never heard that.
I don't know.
I haven't heard that
I don't
uncarded. I
keep up
have
with
no
all that.
idea. I have no idea how well it's doing. I heard a lot of people complain about the movie. Some people liked it, some people didn't.
Yeah, just like any
Whatever.
other movie.
Yeah.
You really got to watch stuff, listen to stuff on your own,
Yeah.
and make your own judgment. Because I mean, some people like things, some people don't. But that don't mean you're gonna like it or dislike it or whatever. So,
Like all those people that used to tell me to watch Friends. Oh, it's so great. And I tried a couple episodes and I'm like, oh, this
I've
is
never in my life watched an
insufferable.
episode of
I
Friends.
thought it was awful when it was out.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. And Hank says
Yeah.
LPH Usher and
Yeah.
Josh Hartnett and Elijah Wood in
We're in
the
the
faculty.
faculty.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that when I was in the military. We used to watch all. When we was in Korea, you didn't have TV, so all we did was watch
Discs.
movies and yeah. And then
Yeah.
when we were deployed, that's when I had all those TV shows on DVD.
Yeah.
Remember when we got married, had all of those TV shows?
Yes.
I used to buy box sets of TV shows, and we used to watch it on when I was in the military, especially when you were deployed. That's all you watched because you didn't have TV.
Yeah.
All you had was your computer, so you watch, and then we would pass it around. That's how I got into Oz, the TV show Oz. I got into that because we would pass around DVDs, and then you start watching stuff. But yeah, I liked it.
Nerd says the one thing they like about remakes is that people rediscover the original.
Yeah, and it's
Some
the same
do,
with
some do.
songs too. It's the same
Yeah.
with songs. Because you wonder where that came from. Sometimes you do, and you go back and look for the original. Or if you see a TV show or a commercial and it has a song in it, it makes you curious, so you go look it up, and then you might find one or two versions of it.
Yeah.
And that's always interesting. But a lot of these modern remakes, I don't know. It's so far removed from the original, or if it's a book like the Stephen King Under the Dome, you read the book and then you see the TV show, and it's like
What happened?
they ain't got nothing to do with that book. So I don't know. Okay.
And Johnny says that he saw the first Beetlejuice recently. He didn't care for it much. I guess I'd have to see it as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. And Darren agrees with the Friends. It's unwatchable.
Did nothing for me.
Well, that's another good 80s one. Frank and Frog says the 80 remake of The Fly.
Yeah,
was good.
with Jeff Goldblum,
Yeah,
right?
that was good.
I don't think I saw the original Fly. I don't think
With
so.
Vincent Price.
I think I did.
Uh-huh.
But I remember the Jeff Goldblum one, and that's probably because I saw it more than once. Never saw Oz. Was it any good? I don't know.
I thought it was kind of tough to watch.
It is tough to watch. It's very vulgar.
Yeah.
A lot of sex in there now. You know, very very vulgar. I wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch that again. The storyline started out okay, and then it was one of those shows that went on too long. They kept dragging it out, and the stories became too unrealistic, too stupid. Um, it just went on too long, but it was very vulgar, a lot of sex in it, and it. I don't know. Josh
Yeah.
Hart knew. Oh no! Oh, I thought that said Michael Knight.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Uncarded says that
Trap.
Josh Hartnett is in the Trap movie, which was pretty good.
Mm.
And then Munin also agrees that Friends is painful to watch. It's so many people swear it's a great show. Are they actually watching it? Well, the people that swore by that show now can't rewatch it because I've heard that from a lot of people that were like, I used to watch that show, but now I'm like, because it wasn't that good to begin with. You
Yeah.
just got caught up in the laugh track that was telling you when to laugh.
Mm.
If a show is good, just same as with the movies, you could watch it again. We could watch Are You Being Served again
Oh God, I can watch
because
that at any time.
that show's really good. We
Yeah.
could watch Cadfael again
Yes.
because that show's really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cadfael was real good. I can
Cadfael
watch that right now.
yeah, which is a British drama.
Mm-hmm.
Think of Columbo as a monk in the 1500s,
Yeah,
and
but
that's Cadfael.
Cadfael was better than Columbo
No,
though.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He solved mysteries, but it was
Yeah.
a well done show. It
It
was well
was.
written.
Yeah,
Well
it was
written.
it was very good. And Are You Being Served? I can watch that any time of day. I can binge watch that, like pull it up on YouTube and that's all, and you just watch that. I can watch that over and over and
Yeah.
over again. It's funny without a laugh track. But they didn't have a laugh track. They had a live studio audience. And I
Oh
would
yeah, on Are You Being Served? Yeah, that was a live
because
audience.
it was a play, and it was a play that was being filmed. So,
And you can catch it sometimes, the flubs,
yeah,
because
they
they made
mess up their
mistakes in
line.
the show, or somebody looks like they're trying not to laugh really hard,
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, okay, and that adds to it. That adds
Mm-hmm.
to it. You get that sense from it.
Beetlejuice was one of those property that worked so much better. Yeah, the
Says
cartoon was good
Gilgamesh.
because that's all I knew growing up. I used to watch the cartoon, and we went back recently and watched the cartoon again, and the cartoon I still thought was pretty funny.
Kind of
Um,
surprised me how often he was in drag, but you know, Fiddlechip says to just rewatch Nightmare on Elm Street after many years. God, Freddy is goofy.
yeah.
And Nerd suggests that Johnny Depp was the first victim of Freddy.
Yeah, he was. Johnny Depp was in that movie. And it's funny, those old movies you see growing up, you don't recognize the characters, but now that you go back, like if you watch The Outsiders, how many people were in that movie? That movie was star-studded, but back
Yeah.
then they were nobodies. But you look at them now, you're like, wow. Tom Cruise was in that film. Was it Patrick Swayze?
Yeah. Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, all of those
Yeah.
people were in there. Everybody was a star in that movie. I never saw the Goonies and never wanted
Says
to.
Robert. I think it's the only movie I haven't seen.
I never seen the
Spoiler
Goonies.
alert, it's not that great.
I never seen the
It's
Goonies.
nostalgic. You know, I can't, if you like it, I can't take that from you. But I don't think it's that great of a, I could do a whole top 10 list on 80s films people tell you are great that really weren't that good.
Star Wars?
No.
No.
Don't you dare. That's Star Wars was a 70s film anyway.
Still. All of Indiana Jones?
No. Oh my God. What is wrong with you?
Just naming a few.
Goonies, no. You're not naming the right ones. But Goonies would be on that list. It's nostalgic. It's a cute film. It's really not that good, though, if we're being honest. Reston says Frailty is a good older religious suspense horror film. Frailty.
Okay. I never heard of that one.
And Uncarded says, I wish they would bring back the Benny Hill show.
Oh, God.
Oh, no one will do Benny Hill nowadays. Forget it.
That's too everything. Sexist, racist, everything is in Benny Hill.
Everything's in Benny Hill. He didn't hold back on anything.
No.
And Marty liked Are You Being Served?
Yeah.
Another good British comedy is Thin Blue Line.
I never heard of Thin Blue. Hold on, let me get out my pad.
Yeah, Benny Hill got away with a lot of stuff because it was 70s, 80s. And you could do that and people weren't offended by it. When he did the Chinese guy, Chinese people didn't care.
No.
You know? Or now
that guy that played the Chinese detective.
Mm-hmm. Or he also impersonated Idi Amin in one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and in blackface and all. And it's like, but the thing is, nobody took offense to that then. But now, most people, and I don't even think they're that offended nowadays. I think they pretend to be because they think they're going to get something out of
No,
it.
they're told to be offended.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows to be offended unless you tell them. Because then a lot of times, if you're offended by something, you don't need it pointed out.
Yeah, that's true.
If you got to point out the offense, you ain't offended. Because a lot of times, like I remember this one time, it was this picture, and this guy, when I was in the military, he was like, "What's wrong with this picture?" And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, "I don't know." But the little boy trying to steal, he was like, "No, look at it again." And I kept looking at it, and I'm like, "I don't see nothing." They look like that boy right there trying to steal that candy. But he was like, "No, the little boy, he's black, and the white lady is looking at him like he's trying to steal the thing. He's not." I'm like, "Dude, I don't see that." So the point is,
you don't know what they're doing in the picture.
no, you don't know what they're doing. And when you like, I've seen video clips, and they say this commercial is racist. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, "What's racist in this commercial?" And I'll type in the comments, "Can you please? I'm not trying to troll, but can you please tell me what's racist in this commercial?" I never get a response.
They don't know.
And again, if you have to be told that something is offensive and explain what is offensive, you ain't offended. Because if you truly offended by something, nobody has to tell you you're offended.
Yeah.
Now, I don't agree with you, Gilgamesh, and you going in
Gilgamesh.
time out.
Gilgamesh
You
says
going in
that
time
he
out.
didn't like Seinfeld because she likes Seinfeld.
Seinfeld is hilarious.
They're unlikable characters, but they're not successful, and that's what sells it. That's what sells it.
Summer wine and
JC, are you being served?
Oh, last of the summer wine and
jam in Jerusalem.
Okay.
Yerushalayim.
You can change it.
There is no J in the Hebrew language. Johnny says laugh tracks actually an insult to intelligence. They think you don't know when to laugh. They put laugh tracks in there to force you to laugh at something that is not funny.
Yeah, because you remember when you watched TV and when it started, it said filmed in front of a live studio audience.
That's All in the Family was like that.
Yeah, a bunch of them. I think the Jeffersons was like that. But it told you at the beginning, show recorded in front of a live studio. So you didn't get a laugh track, I just discovered a show that actually seems like kind of fun to watch.
Called Ghosts. Lady lives in a mansion.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that. It doesn't look funny.
Johnny says he didn't like Stand By Me either.
What? That movie was good.
He didn't like it.
Well,
because in real life we don't have friends like that.
But in the end, the boys said we never saw or spoke to each other again after
they all kind of faded away.
Yeah.
And Gilgamesh says Goonies might not have been that great, but they have the McFarlane sloth figure. And Uncarded says Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the epitome of the 80s.
I didn't like Ferris Bueller.
She didn't care for it.
No, I thought it was
Breakfast Club. What stands out and why the song ties in so well is because after they all came together, if you watch them again Monday morning at school, they act like they don't know each other again. That's really the key to the whole film. Don't You Forget About Me is the song. And it's fitting because they all sure as hell did forget about each other. Wink and a nod and go back to your clique.
Yeah.
But speaking on that other subject, you might remember this.
Yeah.
I had done a video on it.
People get paid decent money to tell you what is offensive. Yeah. And it's like, are you really offended? Are they? Oh, yeah.
Activism is a business. Those people are getting paid. This is the Joseph Hazard Joe Fest exclusive.
Yeah.
From a few years ago. And it has the two figures. I didn't bring the figures because they're hanging over there. And my wife bought this set. And we did a showcase video of this set. And we got... I hammered in the comments a couple of times by people, oh my God, the Dukes of Hazzard is so inherently racist, and how could they tie that in with GI Joe, and why the hell? And on the file card, it talks about Cross Country, the character Cross Country.
Mm-hmm.
How could they tie that in with Cross Country? He's got nothing to do with any of this. And it's like, can you explain to me why it's racist? They can't answer the question. They
No.
make an association based off of that flag, which is explained in the show. We rewatched the entire series recently, and they tell you why it's there. And it makes sense. It's because that town was a battleground town. It has a history. And the way that the car is painted up and the name of the General Lee and everything is connected to that history. Boss Hogg is a descendant of Jefferson Davis himself. And as far as Cross Country would never have anything to do with that, blah, blah, blah.
Hold on, David, grabbing something.
Here's the Cross Country figure from G.I. Joe wearing a Confederate uniform with a Union Jack belt buckle. So, yeah, that's why they chose him. That's why they chose him to tie in. People don't even know what they're talking about.
And then the thing with this figure, with this.
Oh, careful.
Something was going on, and this, I got this, like he said, a couple of years back from Joe Fest, and this was the exclusive.
Yes.
And they made everybody that had a Dukes of Hazzard take all their Dukes of Hazzard stuff down. They couldn't sell this figure, but the guy had it, and I saw it, and I told him I wanted to buy it.
He was the artist that did this. He was the artist.
And he said, "You want that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe. I love Dukes of Hazzard." And he was like, we were told that we couldn't sell it because it was offensive. I was like, I'm from South Carolina. I grew up with the Dixie flag. Give me that darn thing. And then I bought the car, the General Lee, the same show. And the guy, he had it tucked way in the back. And I was like, I want to see your General Lee.
See, and those are the custom figures.
He was like, "You want that General Lee?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to buy that General Lee." He was like,
he was so happy.
Yeah, he was like, "We were told we can't sell it." I was like, "But you got it behind the counter. Are you selling it or not?"
And that's why he hid it.
Yeah. So he sold it to me. I was like, I have no problem with Dukes of Hazzard. I watched it growing up. I wouldn't buy it if it didn't have the flag on it. Because he had another car that they peeled the flag off of. He was like, "You want this one?" I was like, "No, it don't have the flag. I want that one with the flag on it." Because on the show, it had the flag on it.
And this is the vehicle.
That's the vehicle.
This is the one she bought.
Yeah. And I've said it before. Yeah, the Dixie flag does mean a lot of things to my grandparents and everything that grew up under the flag. It meant a lot to them. But by the time I grew up, all that was gone. And it don't, I'm not saying it don't mean nothing. But it means something if you make it mean something, and you keep saying we need to abolish racism, but then you keep living under it and everything is, but that's not what this channel is about.
Yeah, I know.
We're going to go talk about this one. People that scream, then Gilgamesh brings it up and whatnot.
Often they're the worst culprits, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Very often. And Munin says,
"Oh, here we go.
Down. Oh, here we go. Here's a bunch of shows we won't be able to find."
Yeah, because all of these are going to be a paid for show, and I can see it.
I'll run through these.
Yeah, you go ahead.
And Franken Frog says Speedy Gonzalez was canceled, but Mexican people didn't care. No, they don't care about that. It's just a mouse. It's a cartoon mouse. Uncarded Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley were recorded live, I think. I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
Raccoon says they're an 80s kid, but the Goonies never appealed to me. I love Monster Squad. Monster Squad was kind of funny. Johnny says he remembers live audiences with good times, and when the mom slapped Michael, the live audience went, "Ooh." Now that's a real response from the audience. Nobody told them to do that. And Gilgamesh says Stand By Me was one of the best movies based off a Stephen King story.
Yeah. I never read that book, though. I need to read the book. I did see the movie.
JC says, cannot watch reality TV, Dancing with the Stars, 31 seasons or remakes of anything. I Love Lucy is a classic. 31 seasons, that's a load of crap.
Lucy got on my nerve.
Yeah, Gilgamesh said, the General Lee Joe is amazing. I wish I had one of those. I think they only made 50 of them for the show, and they was supposed to get a box, and he didn't
Yeah.
get that far.
No.
He couldn't do it. And he was so happy, that guy, because he was like, "Oh wow!" So he appreciated it because he did the artwork for it.
Johnny, I already told you there is no update on no Star Wars because I could care
As we
less.
catch up here, Nerd says the Joseph Hazard is cool. I want one. It was pretty. It was a neat concept.
Yeah, and I wish it had the box. I think the Hodge twins are doing a giveaway of a rep. Wow.
Yeah, I saw a
As a
commercial with them
Camaro?
driving it.
It's
Yeah,
not, they didn't have a Camaro.
and
They had Dodge
uncarded. I
Charger.
don't remember Uncle Jackie. No, and
No,
no, they everybody on the show. There's no disrespect shown to any type of nationality on that
no,
show.
no. And
Even
even in the first episode, their good friend was black.
yeah,
I can't remember
and
his
then
name.
and they had the recurring character Sheriff Little.
Yeah.
Nobody gave him a hard time. They were scared of him.
Hmm.
Everybody was afraid of Sheriff Little. Robert says, "Can you explain why the flag is on the General Lee?" Oh, I just did.
Yeah.
Because
just told you.
because of the heritage of the town, because of it being a battleground town and associated with directly the Civil War, according to the storyline.
Yeah.
Robert says, "I remember the show, haven't seen it. All I remember is they switched characters of Bo with 2 copies. Yeah, Coy and Vance
Yeah.
for like a season, and then they got rid of them just as abruptly."
Oh, you
never
never
saw it.
Dukes of Hazzard?
It's goofy, but it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Last
it is
last
goofy.
season it got weird though.
Want to watch? I don't want to be that guy, but Germans don't celebrate the losers of their nations. Just saying.
Says Just Jeff.
Yeah.
Raccoon says he loves good times. Remembers the scene, and I look at Flora's face when she hit him. You can see the shame and hurt as she ran away. That's acting. Well, she was a Broadway actor.
Yeah,
I think.
she was.
So
a Broadway
she should have been pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Dancers. Wow.
Yeah, Dancing with the Stars has been around too long.
That long.
And are they any A-listers on that show? I think not. They're not even B-listers. They're C, D, E, F, and G listers. Johnny says I must have been sending a text on my phone.
When I told him that there is no updates to the
no update. She doesn't. We'll see. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
I don't really care about all
I'm
that.
not gonna force her.
Yeah.
But
plus we got to get it out and all of that.
I don't have to get. Oh please, I can pull a disc out. I got a million discs all over the place.
And it's long.
It's not as long as Joker 2, and we paid to sit in the theater for that. Anyway.
You didn't have to say that. You didn't need to say that at all.
And I didn't even get popcorn.
You ate before you went.
Yeah, actually, we went to a really good mom and pop pizza place first.
Yeah, it is a mom and two actually around here that we really enjoy.
No, because Nellie's is closed.
No. The hibachi place.
Oh, you mean restaurants? I thought you meant pizza places specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah, we what is it? Atlanta gyros.
Yeah, gyros, but
not gyros.
Yeah.
That it's a ye. It's Greek. It's gyros.
Yeah, but they sell
gyro.
pizza.
Yeah, they sell pizza, but it's really good. It's less than you would pay going to Pizza Hut or someplace, and it's really good. Munin says basically it's a show where has-been actors go to end their failing. Think of The Love Boat without a plot.
What?
Dancing with the Stars.
Oh yeah,
because Love Boat was a dumping ground for washed-out actors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you were someone people might recognize,
hey, Eddie,
that was acting in the 70s, they got dumped on The Love Boat at some point. Yeah, I see Eddie is there. Reston says, any souvenirs from the Joker movie? Did they give out comics or popcorn? No.
They didn't give out it. Well, I don't know. We didn't even go over to the concession area because we knew we wasn't gonna buy no $20 box of popcorn or nothing like that.
Yeah.
I would get. Well, they might make some statues, and in 10 years, Hot Toys might make a 6-scale figure.
You don't need it. You stick with the one from the first movie.
I might get it if he in that prison outfit.
Oh please, that's boring.
Just him now. I'm not getting like Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn is more like it. Oh yeah. Uncarded says Joker suffered from the sequel curse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you do one sequel
How
too many.
many sequels have been popular? I know the
Oh,
Terminator. I can think of the Terminator.
Terminator 2, RoboCop 2, Empire Strikes Back, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Yeah, you can run them off.
Yeah, you just
Aliens,
rattling them off now.
Aliens, the sequel to sequel to Alien. Yeah, I mean, there's been plenty that have been, like you saw the second film, John Wick. The second film was fun.
Second John Wick was good.
There's been plenty of films where you saw the second one.
Ghostbusters
like, okay,
2.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters 2 was fine.
Yeah.
We are going to the movies one more time, and that's to see the Batman when it comes out.
Yeah, in like 8 years.
And
they keep delaying it.
Come out.
Johnny wants me to put popcorn on my beard.
No,
that's for the birds.
I hope they don't mess it up. I hope they look at, and I'm wondering if that's what they did. They put out the Joker to see what the problems would be, and then they really home in and maybe fix anything. I'm serious, because it kept getting delayed with even starting the production.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if they started the production yet, but I mean, if they did, they still got time to fix things and tweak things. If they say, "Oh no, we ain't doing that because it didn't work here and over there," so you know what I'm saying?
Uncarded liked Isaac from The Love Boat. He had a figure.
Yeah.
Mego made it. Raccoons, people are going nuts for the popcorn buckets and tumblers. What do they make, like 1 million of them? It'll bottom out. Uncarded says Hot Toys already made a figure from the Joker.
Well, that was the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one. I'm talking about the second movie.
Johnny says, whoever saw Christopher Reeve film a few weeks ago, Superman, Christopher Reeve's story, I didn't see that.
I didn't see it.
And Custom God said Star Trek 2 yeah, Wrath of Khan.
You're always talking about
yeah, that's
that
the
movie.
best Star Trek film they ever did.
What about Sonic 3? Don't you want to see Shadow?
I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
Eric says, hopefully due to the reception of Joker 2, they'll give Harley Quinn a rest.
Yeah.
Character's been beaten to the ground like no other.
About that.
Yeah, she started off fantastic in the 90s.
Yeah, and again, in the cartoon.
I liked her in Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
And that's all it needed.
The only thing she was good in.
That's all it needed. But yeah, a lot of those characters, not just Harley Quinn.
Poison Ivy
beaten into the ground. Deadpool, I'm sorry, beaten into the ground. I'm tired of seeing Deadpool anywhere. It's like, God, give it a freaking rest. You're gonna kill it. You'll absolutely kill it. You'll ruin it. Fiddle Chips, did they ever start making a new Yeah, they filmed it.
I don't know if they started filming it.
I don't know if they finished it. I heard they started. Okay. I could be wrong, but I heard they started. Legends, his dog barks at an inflatable Batman holding a pumpkin last week on a walk. I just said, yeah, I don't like George Clooney either. Oh, is it the Clooney Batman? He doesn't, yeah, he deserves all the hate he can get because he's the only person to play Batman and bitch about it. He whines and whines and whines about, I've talked about that before, because he was in the fourth one after the fourth installment from the 80s or 90s series. And all he ever complains about is how Arnold made more money than him. Arnold got paid more than me. Arnold got paid more than me. Arnold got paid more. Arnold was a huge star in the 80s and 90s. Suck it, Clooney. And
he's still not as big as Arnold.
He still complains about it. If you bring it up to him to this day, well, you know that Schwarzenegger got paid more than me, and I never even saw him because we didn't even film our parts together. Yeah, that's all he does. And it's like, you know what? You can't just appreciate you were a cinematic Batman.
No.
And the movie was goofy. It was the goofiest of the four. That started with the 89 Batman, right? It was the goofiest of the four films. However, it played out exactly like a Silver Age comic, if you're being honest. It played out like one of those weird 60s Silver Age Batmans. So, I'd be happy to have been in it. You know,
no, not
I got to be Batman. It was goofy, but I had a good time. No, Arnold got $1 million more than I did. Shut up, Clooney.
Wasn't the guy who played the original Khan also in Bonanza?
He was in Bonanza. He was in a couple of episodes of Bonanza as a Native Indian.
Mm.
Johnny says he tried to get the movie poster for Christopher Reeve, but the manager said they're contracted to throw it away.
What?
Yeah, right. Who throws away movie posters? Yeah,
that
sure.
guy.
Kind of like how the stores are contracted to throw away store displays from the toy department after they're used up, but those go out the side door, right?
You always find them on eBay.
Robert says they changed her character in the new Batman animated series. They changed a Harley constantly. They're always rewriting her.
Yeah.
Nerd says Clooney had the nipple. Oh yeah, bat nips. There were on his armor.
Mm-hmm.
There was actual nipples.
Oh really?
On the Batman armor, yeah. For that, we're a long way away from Adam West leotards.
Oh my God. Arnold pays the studio $1 a year to keep that Mr. Freeze suit.
Legends. That was a cool suit.
I never saw anything. Okay, I saw the 89 Batman in the second one. And then I saw all 3 Christian Bales. And then the more recent one, and that's it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then of course the 89, I mean the animated series.
Animated series.
I see all of the animated series
Yes.
ones. And 66 Batman.
66, because we're watching Adam West now.
Yeah,
that's
66
one is. It's a fun
yes,
show.
Yes.
It's a fun show. And Mickle said, like most actors and famous people, I like them till they start talking.
Yes.
They're all spoiled idiots. I don't understand why some people praise the people who get paid millions to pretend. Yeah, I know. And that he falls into that category, Clooney, unfortunately. There are some actors that are cool, but there's a lot of them. They don't appreciate nothing, and it's a shame. It's a shame. Johnny says, if you could show a 6-pack on body armor, surely you could show the nipples. I know. Well, it fits with the whole concept of the Roman armor style they were going for, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Nostalgic says he's a fan of characters, not actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't always... a lot of times that's why they tell you don't meet your heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you run into them and they're just a really nice guy, but a lot of times you run into them and you're like, wow, what a dick. In real life they're snooty and arrogant and rude. Gilgamesh says at their Walmart they were able to talk him into giving them 2 Sailor Moon displays they had on their anime DVD section when they were getting rid of them, and I framed them. That's cool. Munit says Harley Quinn has been run into the dirt with all the different iterations in both animated and live action.
Yeah.
It's too
too much.
And Nerd likes the 60s Batman and how he had a can of shark spray. He's got everything, and everything has a sign.
I know.
Everything has a sign. It's insane. And they put clues together like out of thin air. The stuff makes no freaking sense. And he throws it together. Gosh, you're right, Batman. Oh, I'm so stupid. Why didn't I think of that? Take it easy, Robin.
Yeah.
It's just, golly, Batman. I didn't think of it like that. Oh, my God. Johnny says, be a fan of the character, not the actor. Example, Ferrigno. Oh, God, you're going to get the Lou Ferrigno thing going. Because a lot of people who've met Ferrigno have not liked him. Because he's been on the autograph circuit since like 1990 or something. Gilgamesh has 2 Star Wars displays you used to see over toy sections in stores framed. I love things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fiddle Chips, quick Rogan, tweak the bat. Oh, no. Shame on you, Fiddle Chips. I got the store display from Inhumanoids.
Yeah.
That's this one. That's what this is.
Nope, hold
it's
on.
It's an unused display because it hasn't even been folded out on the back because that's a cutout right there to stand this up on a countertop.
Oh, okay.
But that's what this is. It's an Inhumanoids tour display. I don't have much in that regard, but this I thought was pretty cool.
That's the only store display you have?
I think so, because I had a couple of Lego ones, but I gave them to Warren.
Okay.
I gave those to Warren. Warren, my son, because he's also into the toys and he likes he's into the Legos and he's into Transformers and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't really have much in the way of course, the Marks display I also have. and that's this one. I've shown this before.
Oh yeah, yeah, you have shown that.
This is the. I gotta be careful getting that out of
Yeah,
there.
don't knock nothing down.
This is the Disneykins store display. The Mark's 1961 Disneykins store display, and this is the tough one because they made Tinykins and Disneykins, and the Disneykins came on two displays. This is the plastic display
Mm-hmm.
with the movie reels going in the background,
Mm-hmm.
and they also made a cardboard one that looks like a castle.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen the cardboard one for sale off and on eBay, but I've never seen this one for sale anywhere.
Oh, you got that at Retro Toy Swap.
I did. Someone had this at the Retro Toy Swap, and that we go to.
I saw the Clooney Batman movie in the theaters, and when Batman and Robin click their boots together and ice skates pop out of their shoes, I was done. The Bat credit card, never leave home without it.
Yeah, see, that's like so Silver Age.
Just because an actor plays a part I really like doesn't mean I want to watch everything they are in. Fan of Bionic Man, but not interested in anything else Lee Major has been in. That makes
Okay.
sense.
And Joni says, talk to stores. You'll be surprised at the displays they'll give you if you talk to the right person.
Yeah, you gotta find that right.
Union says the only display over Star Wars toys now is the clearance sign. Ooh, owie. Robert would like to meet Mark Hamill, Patrick Stewart, or William Shatner. I'm glad I haven't in case they're jerks.
I heard Mark Hamill was.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of negativity about Mark Hamill.
Yes, the Toys R Us store banner.
Yeah, before they closed. And
We
John,
do.
yeah, that's right.
Johnny
Johnny
sent
sent us a banner.
It's in the office.
Yeah, it's hanging in the office. I've heard Patrick Stewart can be arrogant, can be kind of arrogant. William Shatner, I'm not sure. I've heard that he can be a really friendly guy, actually. William Shatner. Mutant misses Toys R Us and KB. I miss KB more. And Robert says, I hope Condiment King is in the next Batman movie.
Oh, I do remember him.
Oh, no. You know who? Sweet Tooth.
None of
Yeah,
that.
Sweet
That
Tooth.
would be,
Come on.
No.
Sweet Tooth.
Because
Sweet Tooth.
then it would be too fanciful. I like the way it is
Condiment
now.
Man.
Yeah, that's too fanciful. I remember him from
we're being sarcastic.
No,
you know.
not Robert.
Robert wants. You know who Condiment Man was from
the animated series.
The animated series, and he had the ketchup and mustard guns. But Sweet Tooth is from the New Adventures of Batman series from 1973, I think. That was voice acted by Adam West and Burt Ward, recurring their roles. That's the one that had Batmite in it. And Sweet Tooth was a guy that was a big heavy guy, and he had a gang of little fat kids. And his traps were like he'd have like a giant marshmallow that would gum up the Batmobile and stuff like that. It was crazy. His evil plot was to turn Gotham's water supply. Hey, Jack Fearless is here. Was to turn the Gotham water supply into chocolate syrup.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't want to see that in a movie.
But if they redid something successfully like Batman 66, that would work.
Yeah, and then everybody would like that, but not the Batman movie.
Yeah, everybody would have to be dead serious about it, like Chief O'Hara. Oh, Commissioner, what are we going to do? There's chocolate syrup be pouring out of the faucets. We're doomed. The police, they just can't handle it. We ain't done shit yet, and they ain't tried either. Can you just pick up that red phone so we don't have to work? I mean, that's about it, because Chief O'Hara doesn't do anything. As soon as they say, oh my God, the Riddler, and then they look around and all the police kind of look at each other like this, like, oh, we're worthless. And then he's like, let me just get the bat phone. Mickle says he met Ron Glass, Shepard Book from Firefly, at McDonald's once, and he was a true gentleman. Couldn't have been nicer. Shook my hand, said thank you for watching. Okay. And Fiddle Chips in a Silver Age comic, Batman shops for Superman's birthday in his full bat suit. Love the Silver Age. I
Oh
know
my
there's crazy
gosh.
stuff in there. And Mickle would love to see a live action Creeper or just have the character in a movie. It would be something like Jim Carrey in The Mask, only without the superpowers.
Oh, really? He saw the
Really?
Captain Planet
Really?
complete.
Jack says
Oh,
Captain Planet is at Walmart now.
I'm gonna look for that.
Okay.
I want to see it.
Captain Planet.
I don't think it's gonna be as good as when I was. I don't even know if it was good when I was a kid. I remember watching it, and I remember.
Captain Planet's supposed to save the planet from pollution, but he's allergic to it.
Yeah, but then they had Gaia, and Gaia was over Captain Planet, and it seemed like she always came in and saved the day too. She did something.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I remember we tried to watch it on YouTube, but it didn't come out. But boy, that song was awful.
Mm-hmm.
That opening song. Because I was like, I wonder if this is going to be good. And I found an episode on YouTube, but for some odd reason, we didn't watch it.
Don't hold up. Some shows surprise you, and some shows don't hold up.
I would still get it though, just to put with my stuff, because I showed it last week. I got the Transformers, the movie.
Yeah.
No, I didn't show that last because I just bought it this week.
She found it on VHS.
The VCR tape of Transformers, the movie, and I got it to put with my Transformers set.
Yes.
So if I find a VCR tape of something that I collect, I'll get it to put with my set. Okay, I'm gonna look for that.
Because like when watching Street Sharks, it's hard to watch. It is so dumb. But then you watch, for example, we watched Rainbow Bright. Mm-hmm. That show's funny.
Yeah,
I was shocked because I was like, oh, this is gonna be dumb. And then I was like, holy crap, this is actually really funny.
Yeah.
I'm getting something out of this. Or even Strawberry Shortcake. That show was funny. I couldn't believe it. That surprised
Care Bears ain't bad.
It depends on which one. Because there's more than one iteration of Care Bears.
Yeah, it's Care Bears and then Care Bear Cousins.
Yeah, and the very first version of Care Bears is pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
But when they brought it back, they dumb it down more and more until it's insufferable. It's kind of like
insufferable.
It's insufferable. It's kind of like Tom and Jerry. The original Tom and Jerry shorts are good. Tom and Jerry and Friends from the 1980s, where they removed all the violence, impossible to watch.
Yeah, I would like to see the Mad Hatter, the Scarface.
Scarface would be great.
Yeah, those would be some good ones. Still darker. Everybody keeps saying they want to see the Quarter Bow show up. Yeah. That might be good if they do something with that.
Scarface, I think, is underrated.
Yeah,
that's the ventriloquist dummy guy.
Yeah,
because and it's so convincing that the henchmen think the puppet is somehow alive and that's just his handler, and they're scared to death of the damn puppet.
Yeah.
They don't understand it's a personality disorder. And I'm like, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant concept.
I just hope they don't put too many characters in the movie at once, too many villains at once, because you can overdo it. And then it get too fanciful and it just becomes too much. Like what they did in the last one, they had the Penguin in there, but the Penguin wasn't like established yet. They had Falcone and they had the Riddler, but they didn't overlap too much.
Yeah, you only saw
Falcone.
No.
Or the Penguin.
Penguin a couple of times.
Yeah.
Just to establish him.
Yeah. So that worked, but if they do too much and everybody's kind of larger than life, I think it would be too much and to make it stupid. Captain Planet should make a modern episode where he goes to a country where they actually pollute.
Yeah, like the one that Gaia was from. Munin says, what is the Captain Planet? Oh, Walmart has had Captain Planet DVD set for a while. They have Teen Titans and Batman the Animated Series too.
We got
We haven't seen it there.
I haven't seen it.
And Johnny wants to know how much the set was.
I'm gonna look for it though. But our Walmart don't have nothing in it. It's like a garbage dump.
And Frankenfrog says Captain Planet, a hero stopping pollution down to zero. Yeah, sure. And Mutant says somewhere between $30 and $40.
Whoa, that's a lot of money.
Frankenfrog liked Street Sharks.
I like it too. It's funny.
I'm having
It
issues.
is kind of weird how they
Yeah.
can swim through the streets and their fin is sticking out of the road. That is kind of weird, but it is still funny though.
Yeah.
Will be kind of no. See, Robert talking about
Condiment
that
King.
Condiment King, and he gonna speak it up.
Raccoon says they
it'll be-
want a movie for Spectre, but afraid they'll
Yeah.
make it a comedy like Shazam.
Oh yeah.
They mucked up Shazam. And Frankenfrog
Jawsome.
says Jawsome because they want so bad to be Ninja Turtles. Nerd says, have you seen the HBO show Penguin? No.
because we don't have HBO, so I'm
Nope.
waiting for it to come out on DVD so I can buy it and put it in the rotation to watch once a week.
Jack says $70
For what?
for the
Oh, that's where
Captain
he
Planet?
at. He must be in California or something.
Maybe he's in Canada.
Yeah, that too, somewhere.
That's Canuck
But
dollars.
that's
I have no
that's
idea.
a bit much for
Yeah,
Captain
for
Planet.
$70, I wouldn't pay that.
And I think it's only like 2 seasons.
You know-
it's not like a
You know what I
lot.
want to get?
What?
The A-Team.
Hmm.
A-Team was good until the last
I
season.
don't know about that one.
When they started working for the CIA, it was over. But the A-Team was
Yeah.
a fun ride.
The Question was a good book.
As long as they
Um,
use the Copper Age DC version of
Yeah.
the Question.
Because like I told you, if you read and you get to the 2000s, he gets his superpowers, and they don't explain how he gets it. I think he's supposed to be dead. He's like but he's not a spirit because he can be seen, he can interact and talk to people, but he's like this spirit almost. And he got all these superpowers now, and it's like, where did it come from? And I checked to see if I had missed some books, and when I looked, I didn't miss any books. That's how they just picked it up from there.
Okay.
So I don't know, but the book itself, the 80s version was pretty good. That was a good read, but they got to make him like in the 80s where he was just going out willy-nilly, just doing anything, didn't have any structure. And then he met the Asian lady, and they kind of brought him all together and taught him how to fight and control himself and meditate and do all that. But he was still kind of a loose cannon. He was just a little more refined and had a little more structure.
Yeah.
So I'm having issues with Street Shark. Is a wonderful sentence.
He's quoting me.
Oh.
He's quoting me there. Munin said Walmart charges a bit for the older cartoons.
Oh.
Every now and then you'll see a DVD set get marked.
Yeah, well, you gotta wait for that. That to happen.
I'm all about those markdowns.
I might look for it on Amazon. You usually get a good deal on Amazon.
That's true.
And the shipping is free, so it's still the same. You just pay the taxes.
Yes, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny says sometimes on these box sets you can find a cheaper price on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And Dorian says he got Scooby-Doo. Where are you at Walmart for $25?
I never liked Scooby-Doo when it was on TV.
I was never really a fan of it either.
I like a pup named Scooby-Doo. That was good. But Scooby-Doo, the regular one, especially when Scrappy came in there, and it became insufferable.
Robert says we're talking about the Question without a face.
Yes.
Yeah, he puts on a mask that makes it look like he has no face.
Renee Mentor. He didn't come. Oh, yeah. I heard that. I did read something about that recently, where the Question dies and the mask is given to Renee Montoya, she was introduced in Batman, the animated series. She was just a beat cop. Now in Batman Cape Crusader, she's like a lieutenant or something. Yeah. And she's in that, but she's like a lieutenant or whatever like that. But I heard that she gets the Question's mask and she becomes the Question.
Oh,
I did hear. I read that recently. that happened, and I'm like, okay.
Legend says he'd like to get his hands on Boondocks Dads. I found season 3 in my collection.
The Boondocks, like the cartoon,
Mhm.
that was funny. It's you got to be careful. It got a lot of cursing.
It does have a lot. As the show wears on, it gets more vulgar.
Yeah.
It's same thing with Venture Brothers. Venture Brothers really, it's a funny and imaginative show. But then the last season of Venture Brothers, especially towards the end of that season, it starts getting weird, really weird. Legend says they would also vote for Tom Dubois and Otis Jenkins, aka Thugnificent, in a mock election. Okay. I would vote for D's nuts. Do you remember? That was it. Who remembers that from the last election in the 2020 election? That they actually had to go on the national news and ask people to please stop doing write-in ballots for D's nuts. that it got to be a problem. That goes to show you what kind of country we're in here. Robert wouldn't mind getting the 2012 Ninja Turtles, the cartoon.
You mean the cartoon?
The
or the movie
animated 2012 Ninja Turtles.
But no, that was in the early 2000s when the movies came out, right?
I don't remember.
I like the newer movies. I thought those were pretty good. Have you ever seen Earthworm Jim cartoon?
I have, but not since it was out, so I don't remember it very well.
He said it was actually pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, Playmates made the action figures for that.
You have those action figures?
I have 2 of them.
David got 2 of those.
I have 2. I do not have the Earthworm Jim series. I'd like to. I used to have the whole set.
Yeah,
but
you know that's what happened to
that's another story. Mutant says Riley was my favorite character. Sometimes he was a bit overdone. In school, everyone loved Uncle Ruckus. Uncle Ruckus. Well, Uncle Ruckus could say things that were often true that you couldn't say in real life.
But the show did say some true things that
you couldn't say.
That you could say. You just like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and I really identified with the
cartoon
Hurricane Katrina episode.
Oh yeah.
From that show because I went through something similar to that in real life. Johnny says saw the review. I like the Atlas Comics Mego. I'm going to get Devilina. Yeah, because they've revealed a couple more now.
We saw we didn't finish watching it, but it's a video out with the guy from Mego, Marty from Mego, and they're talking about it, and it is an actual comic book, and they're talking about the whole thing. But we didn't finish watching it. It's on YouTube though,
and it looks like they're gonna run about $30 a pop.
Wow.
That's what it looks like it's going to be. I could be wrong, but this is what's coming through the rumor mill from Mego groups.
Oh, so you got almost all of those comics then?
Yeah, okay. The Atlas that it's going to be around $30 a pop. That it will have an actual comic in it.
Yeah.
Nerd wants to know if we have any Thundercats figures.
Yes. David does have some, and I have some.
I have 2 original LJN Thundercats still.
Yeah.
I used to have the entire carded and box set, and part of the collection that was stolen.
Yeah.
But I have 2. I have only 2 left. Yes. And I've wanted to get back on that. But I mean, we're at a point now where Bengali loose complete is damn near $1,000. The stuff is so expensive.
Yeah.
Lunar Lasher Mumra on the card, I'll probably never see again. Yeah. Or Thunderwing Lion-O mint on the card. They're in the thousands for those.
Yeah.
It's like Star Wars now. It's gotten so hard with the modern prices. She has some of the Bandais.
Yeah.
And Super 7.
And the Super 7. And I got the Mezco ones. I got some Pops. And
yes.
Yeah, that's all. Bandai. Oh yeah, the Mattels, because the Maddie Club had started it back up. They dropped it, and Super 7 started it back up. So yeah, I got all those. I don't have any of the LJN. I don't like the LJN sculpt. I like the Bandai, the Mezco, and the Super 7 sculpts better. Must be the comic
A
reprint.
reprint,
Yeah,
perhaps. I'm
it
not
is.
sure.
Most likely
Yeah,
it is.
most likely though, and that's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
just
long as they don't pull a Super 7 and just give you a card.
and I'll give
like
them
they
credit because some people are giving them a hard time for it, but especially since it looks like it's going to be more expensive. Currently, Migos are running for $20, and this is a big jump. But at least, to my knowledge, Atlas characters have never been done.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, kudos.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. You're doing something that hasn't been done that still has a really 70s vibe.
And it's nostalgic.
Yeah, so that's actually a better choice than some of the other stuff that Migo has done.
Yeah.
The new Migo
Mhm.
than some of the other stuff that they've done. Munin says some students started hurling Uncle Ruckus style comments at other people. The face on teacher staff was priceless. They had no idea what to do.
Have you watched any of the
TV cartoon series?
The original one, Thundercats.
Okay.
The original ones, we wanted to see the remake
2012 one,
but it's not on a streaming service that we have.
Oh, that's side. Those two are side conversation.
Okay.
Nerd says, "Wow, you have a good collection. I see the Sword of Omens go for a lot. I had 2 of them in the box.
Yeah,
I had 2.
He don't have. I had. HAD.
Yeah, they were stolen.
Yes.
I only have. I have a Chitara. I have the deluxe Chitara because it comes with the Wily kit, and I have oh god, what is his name? I have one of the pirates. Legend says they didn't bother getting a fake election car magnet this year since people don't take a joke well anymore. In 2020, I had a Hank Hill for 2020 car magnet. I would vote for Hank Hill. At least he's honest.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? And Johnny says at least Atlas Comics Migo is an original idea.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. Rather than making another Deadpool or Batman or Spider-Man. Yeah, please. I know, and that's why I said, they're tuning it in. They're tuning it in because I mean the stuff that Migo started with, it's like, oh please, why are you making these figures like Tootie from Facts of Life?
Fonzie
Fonzie is a classic character though from Migo, so I could let that pass. But or like Norm from Cheers, stuff like that. But they got it down to okay. We're just going to do sci-fi, horror, and superheroes. That's what people want. Okay, fine. Do that. And now I think the Atlas is a good idea for Migo. Munin says, hard to believe anyone could be offended by Hank Hill of all people. Yeah, I know. Fiddlechip said, did an Atlas comic hit a 3rd issue? Yeah. There's a few of their titles did fine. Robert says, I think Migo should have done EC comics instead. Imagine them coming out with a comic book. Well, that's a more expensive franchise. EC comic characters.
Yeah.
That'd be more expensive. But the Atlas comics, it's something that they could tap into that wouldn't cost them very much.
But did EC have a lot of characters?
Well,
because they did those
like the 3 witches. Most of it would be
the witch. They had the witch, the vault keeper, and the crypt keeper.
Yeah, I mean you'd run out of ideas quick.
Yeah, you really had those 3 because all they did was tell stories. I mean, I got a bunch of the EC horrors, but those are the ones that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they got.
Well, I think it might be a good idea for them. The only thing though, they need to get rid of the bandless bodies because there's nonstop complaints about those bodies breaking from. If they can dial that in as well, then they'll have a good thing going because they're still fairly reasonably priced compared to other modern action figures.
What about Dale? Dale would have been a good VP.
Oh yeah.
I think there's a few that went up for 4 issues. Oh wow.
Okay. Nerd says Fonzie Migo's movable thumb was cool. Yeah, and you had the switch on the back of the package so you could try it. Munin says, I think an Emperor Palpatine for president sign would be funny. He's already president.
Or Dr. Doom for president.
Yeah, I would vote for Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom, he's ruthless, but he actually takes care of his people. Future says, Devilina is only 2 issues. It was in magazine size format. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert says they could do DC
Easy.
EC comic monsters.
Okay.
Well, they're still working on the Marvel contract too, so they can remake their classic 70s Marvel characters as well.
Mm-hmm.
The
It's a
new
lot of
Nico.
characters out there that can be done that'll
Sure.
pull on people instead of constantly making the same ones over and over and over
That's
again.
why I
And we
like
talk about that all the time.
that's why I like the idea of the Atlas also. Because I mean, like she said, how many Spider-Mans do you need? How many
Mhm.
Batmans do you need? Give us a freaking break here.
Yeah. Because I mean, you got comic books like the Creeper. McFarlane is just making a Creeper. So you have that one. Did anybody ever do the ventriloquist, the Scarface? Has anybody ever did that?
I don't know.
You can do that. I mean, it's just a lot of characters.
That's
out
why
there.
I liked it when McFarlane did Captain Carrot.
Yeah.
No one ever has made a figure of Captain Carrot.
Nobody's done the Lobo, the cowboy Lobo, the black guy, like that first guy. Nobody's ever did him. I mean, it's a lot of people out there, so they just ain't trying, I think. And you can still grab a lot of people because it'll be characters they recognize because it's from comic books they recognize. So pulled off the greatest roast.
I want to see them do action figures of the Burger King gang.
Oh boy.
I got the McDonald's ones from Remco.
Would you buy it though? Are you going to say they're modern? I want vintage.
It depends on how they're done. If they match the McDonald's ones, I would think about it. Because you know the McDonald ones were the Remco McDonald's were redone by Huckleberry in like 2010 or something.
Okay.
Or yeah, Johnny says he's got to go soon.
Okay.
But the Huckleberry redid I think 5 of them on a card, and they did a couple boxed ones as a convention exclusive. Robert says they could do Harvey comic characters, Baby Yubi, Casper, Wendy. Those franchises are past dead though. I don't know if people might get them out of nostalgia if they remember it.
That's what anybody going to get anything.
I know. It's kind of like Popeye. Popeye is really a dead franchise.
Yeah.
But there is a handful of people that still remember it, that still gravitate.
It might pull in some new people.
If they could do the original because Burger King, when they were trying to copy McDonald's, they made a whole group. They had a guy with French fries. They had a villain. They did all of that, just like McDonald's. But if they could do it like they did these figures, and if it was a reasonable price, I might consider it.
You know that thing will be $60.
Oh God, don't get me going. See, and these are 12th scale mixed media by Remco, 1976. These are some of my favorite action figures that we have down here.
But they did the Burger King because you have that.
Yeah, they did the King, and the King is a 20-inch doll made by I think Knickerbocker.
Do you have any of the original Tommy Tron figures or Light Cycles?
No, I don't have any Tron figures.
Okay.
Those are real expensive now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, those are crazy expensive now.
Be careful, David. They might end up getting made by Mondo. Ooh, then there'll be 1/6 scale figures.
I don't think Mondo would do something like that. Not the Burger King and McDonald's.
Well, they're owned by what's his name now? Funko, and Funko has McDonald's. Because you remember they did the McDonald's because I got them all.
Yeah.
They never did Burger King though, because they probably don't know that Burger King had characters. A lot of people don't realize Burger King had characters.
Yeah, they had like 5 or 6 of them because they were trying to compete in commercials with the McDonald's gang.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Legends wants to know if Popeye's public domain. I'm not sure. It's old enough.
Yeah.
And Pastor Rick says they have plans on getting Captain Carrot, and the Zoo Crew have the entire run via comics.
Zoobly Zoo?
Zoo Crew. Captain Carrot, he had a sidekick. It was the Zoo Crew.
Oh. I want Zoobly Zoo
Zoobly Zoo figures.
I do. I used to love that show.
I want new Zoo review figures. Fiddle Chip says, I want all nostalgic toys to take a 10-year break.
Yeah, that'll be good. I'm with you.
I get you. I get it. Nerd says, David, they've reissued those Remco McDonald figures. Yeah, that was Huckleberry. Huckleberry did it in the early 2000s. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
And they look almost exactly like them, except the cards are smaller.
Mm.
They
Mhm.
reduced the size of the card to save money, I guess. I don't know.
But I bet you the price went way up.
The Huckleberries aren't cheap either.
Mm.
They're not cheap either. But they do come up from time to time on eBay. You see them.
Yeah.
And then there, like I said, there's like SDCC exclusive versions. It's the same figure, but it's in a box instead of on card
Yeah.
and whatever. But I'm happy enough with the Remco ones.
Mm-hmm.
Those are great. I went forever trying to find them on decent cards. I've got the play set in the box. James says reaction recently
Really?
been making card at EC Monsters. Yeah, that's right.
I
You
don't
saw
really-
you did. We showed them on the roundup.
I know. I just don't remember that though.
Mhm.
I just don't remember it because I'm not into the. Well, okay. I say I'm not into the reaction figures, but I do buy only two: the Sesame Street and the Richard Scarry, and that's the only two that I buy. So when you show the rest, I don't be paying attention like all that. I don't remember any Burger King characters. Except
Yeah,
for
if
Pig.
you look up Burger King crew, like 1980s or something like that, you'll find it. And Munin says they can give retro a rest, keep the
Yeah.
anime figures. Here
Oh,
we go.
here we go. You and that anime.
And
figures.
JC's got to go,
Okay.
and so do we.
Yes.
We've been, how long have we been on? Oh, a little more than 2
hours.
2 and a third.
But I got to
hours.
get up and go tomorrow.
Yeah, she
I
does.
gotta go out of town.
We got stuff to do. So we'll go ahead and sign off. We'll say, hey, thank you everybody for everybody. No, Zoobly Zoo and New Zoo Review are two different shows. New Zoo Review is much older. But thank everybody for joining us here this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you had a good time. We appreciate you. Thank you to everybody who made a donation to the channel. Always helpful. Helps us take care of those kittens. So we'll go ahead and sign